timeless twilight. Fate awaits your choice.
The time has come. Witness the world's refabrication. Winds of change sweep across eons, beckoning heroes forth, while wings of valor sunder the heavens, leaving naught but flame. Shining under this fiery torrent, a beacon of blessed justice brings hope to the land. However, lest we forget, beneath the facade of creation lies destruction. To suppress the knowledge of antiquity, higher beings will set in motion the cogs of war. And thus, divine retaliation begets world-ending conflict. At the far side of this inevitable flux, born of chaos and order, lies the genesis of a new era. So, won't you join me and behold revelation?
Out more.
Whoa! Clear the way!
Reach the arena, where the humble are forged into heroes. You must brave perils, both as volatile and infinite as the very stars themselves. In one moment, a promise of miracles, but in the next, calamity. Never lose hope, for at the journey's end, she awaits. So take up arms against the cosmic horrors. Hold back the fearsome night sky, and claim victory from the darkness. Grasp the light of the heavens, forge your myth among the stars, and enter the fabric of legend.
顔を合わせた時に仲良くできる、そういうチームの方が自分好みだなという気はします。
Like a group of people that have been playing for a long time. There's a lot of history.
对我来说 Saiken Beast 是一个非常特别的战队。
みんな仲良くいこうみたいな感じで、ファミリーっていう感じするじゃないですか。
It's a good feeling. I feel very honored. It's an honor to be on this team with everybody.
Sick of not being a millionaire? Playing Shadowverse could get you an all-expenses-paid trip to Japan to compete for a massive $1 million first-place prize in the Shadowverse World Grand Prix. That's right, $1 million. So how do you win $1 million? First, you have to qualify for one of our 3 Contenders Cups. We have one for Southeast Asia and Oceania, one for the Americas, and one for Europe. These cups are where 2018's top players are flown to LA or Singapore to fight for the World Grand Prix invitations. It's gonna be epic. And how do you qualify for our Contenders Cups? First off, mark up your calendars because this year we are introducing the Shadowverse World Circuit. This consists of 3 offline tournaments that anyone can take part in: DreamHack Tours, the SEAO Open, and DreamHack Montreal. Anybody from anywhere can compete for the 10K prize pool per tournament. And as an added bonus for local players, winning your home region's tournament will get you flown to the Contenders Cup to fight for a slot in the World Grand Prix. You can also secure a Contenders Cup slot by winning one of our Pan America or European Spring or Summer online tournaments. Some slots for the Contenders Cups will go to players with the most 2018 league points. We've got 4 slots for competitors in Pan America, 4 slots for Europe, and 2 for SEAO. Didn't make the cut? No sweat. There's one more chance to qualify via our last chance wildcard tournaments that will take place in each region in September. Win one of those and boom, you're in. You'll be gatecrashing the Contenders Cup with all the other contenders, where an almighty clash of wills shall decide the final players who get to take part in the World Grand Prix. So this year, we are giving even more people even more chances than ever to win cash, just for playing Shadowverse. Our 2018 Global Esports calendar now covers 120 countries. And if winning money and basking in esports glory all sounds a bit like too much effort, just sit back and relax. We'll be streaming Shadowverse Esports all year round on the official channel so you can watch the best players in the world slug it out week to week. It's never been a better time for competitive Shadowverse. What are you waiting for? Go check out ShadowverseOpen.com.
Mortal, seek you glory, or is it prosperity you desire? Very well. Endure your trials and prove your worth. We are the Omen, and through us, your realm will reach a new apex. Defile this world until all creation has been unwritten. Pass beneath the earth and confront untold destruction. Survive our quest and know true power. Tremble not. Only the feeble will perish. One thing alone will ensure your triumph. Resolve. Now we begin the trials. For you face, O mortal, the omen of the 10.
Just how far do these skies stretch? And what could be waiting for us on the other side? Back when we first asked those questions, we had no idea where the wind would carry us. But now, we're ready to soar, onward across the great blue skies to that fabled island. We each have powers hidden deep inside, powers that we'll use to stand against fate. Some battles we won't be able to avoid. We've seen how hard it is to run from conflict. But we've got a promise to keep, so we won't give up now or ever. Throughout our adventure, we've made so many friends. Bonds we share have given us strength to overcome the darkest times. If evil should ever try to take over the sky, then we'll be there to protect it, to provide hope for the future. Oh, child of darkness and flames, grant us a path forward, past the grand blue beyond.
Is this the beginning, or is it the end? When the light meets the dark, fate is sure to rear its head.
The path ahead will soon become two. Will you follow hope, or will despair fall into you?
Even howling winds will bend and break. One gust will be fair, and the other dim and drear.
A kindly smile, a devious stare. These two opposing wills will tear apart and declare, war is upon us. You must make your choice.
Beyond the day and night, in this realm of timeless twilight, fate awaits your choice.
The time has come. Witness the world's refabrication. Winds of change sweep across eons, beckoning heroes forth, while wings of valor sunder the heavens, leaving naught but flame. Shining under this fiery torrent, a beacon of blessed justice brings hope to the land. However, lest we forget, beneath the facade of creation lies destruction. To suppress the knowledge of antiquity, higher beings will set in motion the cogs of war. And thus, divine retaliation begets world-ending conflict. At the far side of this inevitable flux, born of chaos and order, lies the genesis of a new era. So, won't you join me and behold revelation?
Out more. Woo! Clear the way!
Boundless are the heavens, reaching beyond our skies. Rays of light, gleaming trails, and tales of luster. To reach the arena, where the humble are forged into heroes. You must brave perils, both as volatile and infinite as the very stars themselves. In one moment, a promise of miracles, but in the next, calamity. Never lose hope, for at the journey's end, she awaits. So take up arms against the cosmic horrors. Hold back the fearsome night sky, and claim victory from the darkness. Grasp the light of the heavens, forge your myth among the stars, and enter the fabric of legend.
顔を合わせた時に仲良くできる、そういうチームの方が自分好みだなという気はします。
Like a group of people that have been playing for a long time. There's a lot of history.
对我来说 SEAO Beast 是一个非常特别的战队。
みんな仲良くいこうみたいな感じで、ファミリーっていう感じするじゃない。
It's a good feeling. I feel very honored. It's an honor to be on this team with everybody.
Sick of not being a millionaire? Playing Shadowverse could get you an all-expenses-paid trip to Japan to compete for a massive $1 million first-place prize in the Shadowverse World Grand Prix. That's right, $1 million. So how do you win $1 million? First, you have to qualify for one of our 3 Contenders Cups. We have one for Southeast Asia and Oceania, one for the Americas, and one for Europe. These cups are where 2018's top players are flown to LA or Singapore to fight for the World Grand Prix invitations. It's gonna be epic. And how do you qualify for our Contenders Cups? First off, mark up your calendars because this year we are introducing the Shadowverse World Circuit. This consists of 3 offline tournaments that anyone can take part in: DreamHack Tours, the SEAO Open, and DreamHack Montreal. Anybody from anywhere can compete for the 10K prize pool per tournament. And as an added bonus for local players, winning your home region's tournament will get you flown to the Contenders Cup to fight for a slot in the World Grand Prix. You can also secure a Contenders Cup slot by winning one of our Pan America or European Spring or Summer online tournaments. Some slots for the Contenders Cups will go to players with the most 2018 league points. We've got 4 slots for competitors in Pan America, 4 slots for Europe, and 2 for SEAO. Didn't make the cut? No sweat. There's one more chance to qualify via our last chance wildcard tournaments that will take place in each region in September. Win one of those, and boom, you're in. You'll be gatecrashing the Contenders Cup with all the other contenders, where an almighty clash of wills shall decide the final players who get to take part in the World Grand Prix. So this year, we are giving even more people even more chances than ever to win cash, just for playing Shadowverse. Our 2018 Global Esports calendar now covers 120 countries. And if winning money and basking in esports glory all sounds a bit like too much effort, just sit back and relax. We'll be streaming Shadowverse Esports all year round on the official channel so you can watch the best players in the world slug it out week to week. It's never been a better time for competitive Shadowverse. What are you waiting for? Go check out shadowverseopen.com.
Mortal, seek you glory, or is it prosperity you desire? Very well. Endure your trials and prove your worth. We are the Omen, and through us, your realm will reach a new apex. Defile this world until all creation has been unwritten. Pass beneath the earth and confront untold destruction. Survive our quest and know true power. Tremble not, only the feeble will perish. One thing alone will ensure your triumph. Resolve. Now we begin the trials. For you face, O mortal, the omen of the 10.
Just how far do these skies stretch? And what could be waiting for us on the other side? Back when we first asked those questions, we had no idea where the wind would carry us. But now, we're ready to soar, onward across the great blue skies to that fabled island. We each have powers hidden deep inside, powers that we'll use to stand against fate. Some battles we won't be able to avoid. We've seen how hard it is to run from conflict. But we've got a promise to keep, so we won't give up now or ever. Throughout our adventure, we've made so many friends. Bonds we share have given us strength to overcome the darkest times. If evil should ever try to take over the sky, then we'll be there to protect it, to provide hope for the future. Oh, child of darkness and flames, grant us a path forward, past the grand blue beyond.
Is this the beginning, or is it the end? When the light meets the dark, fate is sure to rear its head.
The path ahead will soon become two. Will you follow hope, or will despair fall into you?
Even howling winds will bend and break. One gust will be fair, and the other dim and drear.
A kindly smile, a devious stare. These two opposing wills will tear apart and declare war is upon.
And I am here at the GameStar 2018, and of course, this long line denotes that we are at none other than the SEAO store, waiting in line for that juicy merch. And they have everything from the SEAO Games universe. You've got that Grand Blue Fantasy. You've got that Shadowverse, of course. Look at these binders, these portfolios. These are the first to go, I'm sure. We've got shopping bags, fans, towels. We need a hug pillow. I'm going to ask, is the hug pillow, we got pins, t-shirts. My goodness, if I wish I had Singaporean dollars right now, but I don't, because I just came from the airport. I don't see the hug pillows. Don't tell me they've sold out already. This is an absolute travesty. Excuse me, are there hug pillows? The hug pillows are, where were they? Oh, are we too late? The hug pillows, unfortunate news for all the fans out there, have been sold out in the first hour that they were even available. Now, the only consolation prize that I can think about is if I were to get a picture with a cosplayer. Oh, and we have one right now. My God. I'm gonna jump this line. Yes, I do. Is there a line? Not right now. I'm super lucky. Thank you. Is this heavy? Oh. And of course, the Polaroids. Thank you very much. For you youngins out there, you have to blow on the photo. I'm not sure why this works. But you're supposed. Oh, Reiko. This is why we can't make sushi, because the hands are too warm. I'm just kidding. I would eat sushi if you made it. Oh. Get your Polaroids here at the Shadowverse booth. They come out instantaneously. You can put them on the wall. This is certainly going under my pillow. Does that really work with the hands? The thermodynamics, the warmth of the sushi making hands is the secret in getting one of these. I want to get a signature after this. It should be a hand model. The Omiyage secured from GameStar. This is a consolation prize for, unfortunately, not being able to secure the Daki Makuta. Go get your pictures. Oh, you can take a selfie too with the baby. But this was, of course, all fun and games. But we're not here. Some of us are not here just for that. We want to see the SEAO Contenders Cup. So let's go head over there. Oh, we've got some merch and pins over here. You can sign up for 4-player mini tournaments. Now, as we make our way through the giant throng of crowds, we are in the esports center. Many games are being played, but no game, perhaps, can offer the ridiculous prize and competition of Shadowverse. This is where you take that photo wall and waiting for us, right? Oh my goodness, they're already here. And they all have mics. We have arrived, ladies and gentlemen, with our quartet of all-star players. Let me first introduce. Are you guys lined up in the right? Yes, you are. All the way hailing from Australia. BMA. Good sir, you told me that you are the most prepared out of all these 4 gentlemen and boys, gentlemen, and that you were feeling extra confident going into the SEAO Contenders Cup. What gives you that confidence?
I think I'm just better than everyone else. I put in the most effort, put in the most targeted practice, and I'm ready to get pretty lucky and beat all of them.
The arrogance and confidence of this man is just oozing forth from his words. If I were a betting man, which I am, would certainly put all my chips over here. Not only is he most prepared, but Lady Luck will be on your side. And of course, you are the top seed. Moving along, of course, to the second seed. Over here, excuse me. Good sir. All the way from Malaysia. You have come here. You are the second in the ladder points. How are you feeling going into this weekend's final?
I'm feeling happy because this is my dream going to World, and I will do my best to win the tournament today.
What do you think of BMA's statement that he was just going to run roughshod over all of you? What do you think about that guy's arrogance?
If you have the confidence to beat all of our, just try to win.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's a good point. It's a fair point. Of course, moving on to the third seed, the man who was here at the very first game start, and of course Southeast Asia Major. Ho Kun Sien representing Singapore. Woo, we got some claps there. All right, we've got a few locos, yes. Now I watched you play Shadowverse in the qualifiers. You won in a very, very stacked tournament, perhaps one of the most difficult up to that date. But now you're here in a group of very, very strong players in the Final Four. What is your confidence looking like going into today's tournament?
I think I have a lot of confidence because I have more experience, so I will try my best.
You know, that's a good point, because a lot of the fighting game fans that were watching you play Shadowverse, they're like, oh, like, Sien, this is nothing compared to, you've been on the biggest stages on esports. So I do think that you have an advantage there. You're no stranger to being on the main stage, winning that big money with a lot of pressure on the line. Good luck to you in defending Singapore. There's a few foreigners over here, but we expect you to do very well. Good luck. Hello, you must be the luckiest person on the planet. What is your name and where are you from?
Claudia from Singapore.
Claudia from Singapore. You're, of course, joining Ho Kun Sien in defending home turf, which is not a easy task. You've got a lot of contenders from around the region, right? You've got Australia, we've got Malaysia, of course, Singapore. Now, tell us about your story getting here. Should you even be standing next to me right now and having this interview?
I was very lucky to be here despite getting 4th place in the wildcard tournament. I believe that through a little bit of luck and skill, I'll be able to defeat my competition.
If you have as much skill as you do luck, I would like to bet all my chips on you. It almost seems like you could be the luckiest man on the planet, but I'm just wondering, how much have you spent all your luck? Have you spent all the karma? Do you still have the RNG gods on your side?
We'll see whether RNG bless me.
Well, we are certainly going to see very soon who smiles the RNG gods, who smiles on our top 4 contenders here at the SEAO Contenders Cup. And I'm going to shoot it over to our awesome commentators. What? Over there. Take it away, gentlemen. That was an awkward segue. Oh, the first
This is Thunder. How you
What?
doing?
Sorry.
Hey, you didn't even let me introduce myself?
Did not.
Well, I'm Ignitius, and we're here at GameStart Asia 2018,
who's the first
ready
team?
to see the top 4 Southeast Asia Oceania competitors
Yes.
fight it out for that potential to win that seat at the World Grand Prix where they can win $1 million.
This is a big thing. Everything is on the line. The winner takes all the marbles out of this 4-person tournament. All 4 competitors have fought very hard and gotten here through various measures to sit here at GameStart Asia, ready to fight their hardest, throw the cards down. Winner goes to Japan, and maybe $1 million. They may be the person that has 2 pairs of glasses.
Yeah, that might
Double
be the
glasses
case.
could be them.
And $1 million, it's not yen. $1 million, right?
Yes.
So the 4 players here, they fought really hard. Like you said, we got Bima, we got Dream Life competing here and getting here, qualifying through points, getting lots of points on the ladder. Bima getting triple-digit points through the Shadowverse Open tournaments. And of course, we got Caldia from the wildcard tournament being here as well. And Racer Xian, might know him from the fighting game community, getting here through the Shadowverse World Circuit Singapore 2018 event. So these players coming here from different avenues, but very strong either way, and they're going to compete today.
No player has had it easy qualifying for this top 4. To go back into our first 2, Beamer, they've qualified through the league. Now, the league for SEAO is a little bit different to the league from the Pan Americas or from Europe, in terms that there was simply less of it.
Oh, yeah.
There was less matches, so every win really counted. You really needed to fight it out. A lot of these SEAO competitors are regulars. They competed in many of them. They're all very experienced, so incredibly hard to come out on top. That said, Beamer very much did shoot across and shoot ahead of all the rest by a considerable margin and qualified with the only competitor in our region to qualify with triple digits. Did very well, rocked up all the time, played consistently. And, you know, people are saying he's going to take it out because he had that consistent play. If you come in consistently across multiple expansions, puts you in a good spot.
That's right. And like you said, you know, in this region, we have less open tournaments. So the fact that he was in the lead by a triple-digit to double-digit lead, it's very impressive, that's for sure.
Exactly. Also going into other ones as well. So Razer Shen, of course, don't forget Razer are the official gaming phone of this event, and also using the Hammerhead earphones when they're playing. Also, is fought through a different way. Did not go through the league, entered the Shadowverse World Circuit, which we held in Bugus Plus in Singapore only a couple of months back. My first time in Singapore. Very, very fun. And he qualified through that method instead, getting through that particularly long Swiss round, qualifying through the top 8, taking some prize money there, but also earning himself a spot here.
I think surprising a lot of people as well. People are not really expecting Razer Shen to be so good at Shadowverse, but as it turns out, he's just a very strong competitive player either way.
Exactly. As you were saying when we were talking to him, then he plays a lot of Forestcraft, and I reckon we will see more from him from there today as well.
Oh yeah, he's a forest main and he shows it.
He does show. You gotta earn it. You gotta rep it right. Like I'm a sword main. Doesn't matter if when they're strong or when they are not as strong. I'm still gonna rep them all the time because I
So
like that.
you're loyal. You're
I like
loyal.
that crap. Loyalty can be rewarded sometimes. Like look in Shen's case, his loyalty was rewarded. Maybe
true.
it'll continue to do so.
I will have to say.
So go into Coley's instance. So I guess Shadowverse World Circuit Singapore was interesting because it was a big live in-house tournament, almost 200 competitors all in one spot. The wildcard tournament, however, was completely online.
It gave a lot of opportunities to everyone to join in and try their hand at being here. And Chaldea's that success story. Like we said, we didn't really see him as much in the previous Opens, but he proved his skill and he made his way here, and that's what the wild card affords.
Chaldea also, showed that with wildcard tournament, it did come just a couple of days after Omen of the 10 was released. So he really just worked hard, went through the cards, figured out what was best, and did as best he could. And look at him now on the grand stage.
I think tournaments that happen soon after a release really show the intrinsic talent of a player to suss out the meta, figure out the field, and figure out what cards and decks to bring. And that's just proof of Chaldea's skill and why he's here.
Exactly. And let's go into Dreamlife as well, our final competitor. As said, Beamer qualified through league points. Dreamlife qualified being second through league points. So he's by no means a weak contender in any way. None of these contenders are. So he's coming through also with considerably consistent play and knowledge of the game. So he could be someone, well, all four of these contenders are players to look out for.
And Dreamlife is a bit of a fan favorite around different communities.
Ooh,
he's very in tune with a lot of the different communities in Asia specifically. He's a streamer as well, so I'm sure a lot of eyes are on him, cheering him on. So maybe he has that energy, the will of the chat.
He might does. So if you want to let us know who you're cheering on, you can say here in Twitch chat or on Twitter at SciGames Esports. Let us know who you're cheering on here at Games.Asia for the Shadowverse World Circuit.
Now, of course, the Contenders Cup is the format. It may be a little different from the Opens that we've seen before. It's a 1-to-3 double elimination tournament. Each player has brought 3 decks of different classes, and there's no bans. And they have to win with every single one of their decks. So you really have to show your skill and make sure that you know how to play a wide variety of decks and understand a wide variety of matchups as well.
This is normally something that's reserved for things like grand finals or big matches. But this time around, we're going to put them through the ringer. And every single time they're going to have to go through that and show that all 3 of their decks really have what it takes to get through this, to earn that trip to Japan.
That's because this tournament is serious business. Like we said, first place, trip to Japan, potential to win $1 million US. They also win a Razer phone. That's a lot of prizes.
Free phone, man. Can't argue that. I want a free phone.
That phone's better than the computer I have at home.
It's a good phone. It's a good phone.
Which is
Can't argue that.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's a lot on the line here.
That's right.
So Japan, phone, and at Japan, you could get prize money, hopefully, if you do well. Maybe some of these people have not been to Japan before, so they could also get like a real good holiday. I just came from Japan, so I can vouch how fun it is over there. So
it's a great vacay spot, eh?
It is a great vacation spot. Great vacation spot. And don't forget, also, after this, they've also got Contenders Cup in Pan America and in Europe. And then the World Grand Prix is, as said, in Japan in December.
Yeah. And I'm really excited for that World Grand Prix because that's where all the players from different regions come and collide. And this tournament decides who our representative is for this region. You and me.
Yes,
this is going to be our boy that we're cheering on in the race. Our gentle boy, as Stu would say.
Gentle boy. As we've got 2 from Singapore, 1 from Malaysia, 1 from Australia, my hometown, so
So you're cheering on Bima, I suppose.
The commentators aren't meant to because commentators curse, right? You're like, oh man, if I cheer on the local boy or my local boy, that's not good. But at the same time, I'm going to cheer on my local boy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Of course you are.
They were like, I hope you bless RNG. I'm like, sorry, buddy. I'm in Beamer's corner.
Wow.
That said, though, as long as I see good Shadowverse, and as long as we see good Shadowverse, that's all I ask for.
And the players have brought some really strong deck lists as well.
Yes, they have. Like, they've obviously now that Omen of the Ten's been out for a little bit of time, there's been a little bit of time to break down what is considered strong at the moment, what people are playing more favorably. Of course, every class is totally playable, and there's always totally ways to get through and compete and do good things. But they have definitely studied it, looked through it, and picked their crafts. Some have gone with loyalty, some have gone with what they think is most powerful in the meta right now, but everyone's brought their best, hoping to take this prize.
And I'm really interested to see how these work out, especially because all these players studied very hard at the metagame, and the little subtle differences between their lists are then going to be what's going to make or break their matchups, right? Because they're playing some similar archetypes, but it's those tech choices that each individual player makes and has studied up for that are really going to shine here, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the deck lists, and we'll get into them as we go through the day, you'll see some of these decks are indeed incredibly similar, but those slight differences where one might run 2 of something instead of 3 of something could make all the difference.
And 1 of techs as well. And the thing with tournaments is that those 1 of cards can make all the difference, because if you have it in your deck, that means that the opponent has to play around it, rather than ignoring the possibility, right?
That's it. Everyone here has studied all their decks as best they can. They need to know what they want to play around, but that's hard, right? If there's only 1 in a deck, the chance of drawing it might be slim, but the chance of drawing it is still there. And what if it's in their hand? So you have to play around that. So all 4 players here need to have significantly large amounts of situational awareness for those tech cards, even in mirror matches, because they know the tech cards are going to be in there.
And speaking of practice, like I've heard these players say that they came in here early, they were scrimming with their friends, making sure that they got the matchups down pat and that they know exactly how to pilot each situation with their deck. So this is really serious business for them because it's really high stakes.
That's it. I was talking to Beamer in particular just before this, and he was saying, yeah, I've done a lot of scrimming, all decks there, practiced hard. He's a very confident man, and it shows. And maybe because he scrimmed so much, he might be able to back that up.
I also talked to Bima, and he said that he was scrimming with Riri Pone from Team Anasurge, and he 3-0'd him.
Man? He 3-0'd him.
The disrespect.
Get dunked.
I think he's in the crowd as well.
Maybe it was a close 3-0. We don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe he got steamrolled.
Yeah, maybe he got steamrolled. I see him in the crowd there. Riri's there sitting there watching.
Just poking fun of the crowd. How could you?
Listen.
Dishonorable man.
This is the SEAO community, man. We're like this. We're like this. We're so close. You know how it is. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. But I say, yeah, I'm excited. Ink's excited.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're all in the chat excited. Let us know who you want to win. As I said, I'm keen for Beamer. But as long as we get good chat of us, I am happy.
Yeah. I mean, Kali's bringing Dragon, so, you know.
That's fair.
Dragon main here.
I really want to talk about deck lists, but I'm not sure if we should wait or not, because there's some really cool things.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we'll get into it before the games start.
That's exactly it, yeah. So not too much longer, but, there's some good stuff. People bring in some similar archetypes, as I said. You're going to see a lot of Bloodcraft and a lot of Swordcraft today, but we are seeing some other mixtures.
And for me, I think this is a really big deal for me, because I have like an investment in this scene, in this community, in this region, seeing it grow all the way from a year ago until now. And now we have a big event here on the offline, and this is our chance to prove ourselves and send a representative over to Japan. So for me, this tournament is quite emotionally invested. I am in it, especially since it's at Game Start, which is a year after my first tournament at Game Start 2017
That's true.
as well.
I was talking to you earlier about your origins per se, because I'm old and have been around for like a decade in this kind of
wise old one.
Wise is not the right word. That is not the right word at all. But you're relatively new in this scene. But for Shadowverse, you're still quite experienced. You've been around for about half of the English game's existence, and now look where it's grown in just 1 year.
Yeah.
Where are we going to be after that? Where are we going to go after that? It's an exciting time. For me, I find this tournament, of course, for Southeast Asia Oceania, SEAO, is incredibly important because we do get our own representative. But we've had so many cool tournaments over the year. All the SVOs have been so fun to be a part of. The Shadowverse World Circuit in Singapore was also amazing. The Wildcard Tournament was a lot of fun. My favorite was still SVO Unlimited because of that Spartacus deck.
Yeah,
so good.
Spartacus deck, exactly. And it's really great to see these players that I've been seeing for months and months and months now finally get to this stage and have the chance to fight for Japan. And I'm going to be kind of emotional when we get to the end games here.
And don't forget, if you do want to try out Shadowverse yourself, it's a completely free-to-play game. You can get it on PC, iOS, Android, whatever you like. Get a bunch of packs just for making it. Next year, you could be one of those 4. You never know. We're definitely even paying attention to other tournaments, like the Shadowverse World Circuit I believe, in DreamHack Montreal. There were people who hadn't been playing for a couple of months, and boom, they're in the Contenders Cup. You're going to see them competing shortly after this cast.
It's all up to you. You can just download the game right now and get started. And make sure to follow at shadowverseopen.com for all the news about the tournaments, and it might be you up here, like you said.
That's exactly it. I'm not me. I won't be me up here. I'm bad at this game. I'm good at talking about this game. Yeah. I'm good at playing Sword.
Yeah.
And currently Sword are very strong, which is great.
That's why we're over here and not over there, right?
Yeah, right. I washed out as a player.
Rip. Feels bad, man.
For me, it's all about fun, all about community, and I love it a lot. So there's a
yeah.
lot of ways you can get involved in the Shadowverse community, so do keep an eye out. You know, there are multiple Discords, subreddits, all kinds of official and unofficial ways you can get involved with the community. There are many people here, and especially in the SEAO region, people are really keen to help improve each other's games.
It's a really growing scene
So many
as well.
teams here, like Team Mana Surge, for example, Zastra, there's many others
A
as
huge
well.
Revelation presence here.
Yeah, and everyone here, they're scrimming together, of course, scrimming in their teams, but they're scrimming against others too. And as a result, the whole scene grows. So I guess per se, the meta of what is there is always explored between many people. Don't get me wrong, people hold their secrets close. They hold those tech cards, hold them close to their heart, don't talk about them. But overall, generally the scene's really strong here, and people are really keen to help each other out and build each other's decks up. So don't be afraid to get involved into the greater community. Not necessarily just in SEO, maybe you're watching from somewhere else in the world. Feel free to get involved in those communities too.
And that's the fastest way to improve. Fight against better players than you and learn from them. So
that's it. And everyone's better than me. So I've only got up to go.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Thanks.
Start from the
Jeez
bottom, and now you
Louise,
can
can't
get
take
the
this man anywhere. Just trash talking his fellow commentator.
Listen,
I have to
right?
stand next to this man all day. And I know he's just disrespecting me.
Yeah. Oh, you're used to it by now.
Wow. Well, I guess I am. I guess I just accept defeat at this point. But yes, we do have so many games coming up for you today. As it will be a 4-person double elimination tournament. So looking at about 5 matches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. It's gonna be tough competition for sure, because double elimination is a lot of games, but it really proves who is the best of the best here.
Especially at this first to 3, best of 5, no ban format. Got to use all those decks, and keep them how that works. If you're new, is if you win with a deck, then you move on to the next one. So you have to win with all 3 every time.
Yeah, and you can decide to switch if you lose, but you have to win with all 3.
Exactly. On that note, we're going to start preparing for those matches and getting things on the way. So we're going to cut to a break. Don't go anywhere, or maybe get yourself some popcorn or a beverage. I'm going to show you some amazing Shadowverse coming real soon.
Is this the beginning, or is it the end? When the light meets the dark, fate is sure to rear its head.
The path ahead will soon become 2. Will you follow hope, or will despair fall into you?
Even howling winds will bend and break. One gust will be fair, and the other dim and drear.
A kindly smile, a devious stare. These 2 opposing wills will tear apart and declare, war is upon us. You must make your choice.
Beyond the day and night, in this realm of timeless twilight, fate awaits your choice.
The time has come. Witness the world's refabrication. Winds of change sweep across eons, beckoning heroes forth, while wings of valor sunder the heavens, leaving naught but flame. Shining under this fiery torrent, a beacon of blessed justice brings hope to the land. However, lest we forget, beneath the facade of creation lies destruction. To suppress the knowledge of antiquity, higher beings will set in motion the cogs of war. And thus, divine retaliation begets world-ending conflict. At the far side of this inevitable flux, born of chaos and order, lies the genesis of a new era. So, won't you join me and behold revelation?
Boundless are the heavens, reaching beyond our skies. Rays of light, gleaming trails, and tales of luster. To reach the arena.
Our first two players for today. You're stuck with us. There's no escape, by the way. You can't walk backwards.
Come here, come here.
Come on in, talk to us.
Bima, Caldia, how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good too.
Feeling good? First game of the day, you feeling ready, feeling confident?
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah?
I think I've talked a lot of crap, but I think it's time to show what happens in game, right? That'll prove everything.
Mm-hmm. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
Come in
right?
close. Come in close. So I want.
You got to
hugging distance.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
Because we're all community
We're all
here,
community.
right?
It's a family, right?
So you got to put your money where your mouth is now, because you've said some pretty incendiary stuff, let's be real.
Yeah, I agree.
He agrees. It's like, yes, I have.
He's well aware.
The thing about talking shit is that you got to win, otherwise you just look too cocky.
I can respect that. Like, puts you into, like, if I talk such a strong game and a good game, right, I have to back that up.
Yeah.
I got to be prepared.
Otherwise,
to
people are
back
just
it
going to
up.
laugh at you.
Yeah, that's it. You know, they've got their pointing fingers ready, right? They're like all the Barneys, they're good to go.
Yeah.
But the ha-ha doesn't come out if you win the game.
That's right. That's right.
But you do have a very strong opponent next to you. I'm sure you agree. It's not going to be easy.
So how do you feel, Caldia, going into this?
I'm just hoping that I'll give Bima the competitive experience that he wants.
Wow, look at that. Sugar and spice
Wow,
over
that's
here.
I gotta say, Cody is like the most wholesome guy I've ever seen.
And you're just not going to have any mercy when you...
Well, when you got asked, like, what is he going to do when he wins $1 million? He goes, you know, I just want to pay back my parents for all of the care they've given me. And I thought,
Wow. What a generous individual.
I'm kind of cheering on Caldia now.
I don't know what you would do now. What would you do with $1 million?
I'll probably buy an apartment, man.
Hey, man.
That's a respectful
That's
choice,
respectable.
a solid choice. In Melbourne, apartments are expensive. I know this. I live there.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
I'm not part of this conversation
He's just
anymore.
like, yep.
It's the Australian club now.
That's it. So I get out.
So your lineups, how do you think you're going to match up against each other? Like, what are your thoughts? Caldia?
Sorry.
Speak where we can hear you, my friend. What do you think? Okay, let's see this. What do you think about Beamer's lineup so far? How are you going to go? Obviously, you don't want to reveal any secrets, of course. But how confident are you against this matchup, this relatively strong matchup?
I feel that To be honest, I'm not very confident, but I hope that with a little bit of luck and skill, I'll be able to surpass Bima in the rest of the competition.
He's so humble. He's so humble. It's the dichotomy here that I really enjoy.
Kaldia, the humble. It's got a nice ring to it.
And against Kaldia's lineup, how are you feeling, Bima?
So I scrimmaged against his lineup a lot yesterday, and I pretty much won every best of 5. So unless Kaldia is much better at piloting the list than the person I played against, it's gonna have a hard time.
Who'd you play against?
Replane, actually.
Oh wow, okay.
What is with the constant coming
It's
back
always
to?
constant shade thrown at Riri.
I shouldn't have said that.
Too late. You're on live.
Yeah, you saw him in the crowd going, what? Excuse me?
Why did I come here? But that said, like, you know, realistically, he's been scrimming against your lineup, which means he wants to do well against it. So I would say you both have equally good shots in this. You've both come in prepared, obviously both concerned about each other's lineups and prepared for it, which is the best way to be for any serious tournament.
Now for sure, especially with this one, with the prize on the line, right? So we'll just let you get to it, move on to your seats, and we'll talk about your deck list for the people out there and see how that goes.
Right. Move on. Good luck.
Good luck.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get out of here. Get out of the way.
And this is our booth, all right?
It's my space. That's right.
Commentators only. Okay.
Best of luck to both players. They will do well. They're both, well, one of them is not so much confident, but I think he just believes in it. He believes in
It's that humbleness, you know?
That's it,
there's a humility there, you know? The sleeping giant is what I call
the
it.
sleeping giant.
Yeah.
But you're taller than him.
I mean, figuratively, the sleeping
I mean, literally.
Yeah, but I'm wide awake because we're going to play some grand old Shadowverse, aren't
Yes.
we?
Let us talk about the deck list. Let us see what we have coming from both of these players. They've both brought some really powerful stuff, of course, but they do have differences. And let's break those down.
And here we go.
Let's
It's
see
going
what we
to
get
it's going to be good to see the list and finally get our hands on what these players are bringing, give the viewers an idea of what's going to be in the competition here.
Right, so loading up into the decks from from Beamer first. There he is.
There he is.
Our lovely Australian man. Going into our first Bloodcraft deck of the day. What are your thoughts on this one, Iggy? Break it down.
Looks like a pretty standard list. I think this is probably the one of the best versions of this build. You know, running only 2 Floros, 2 Valnyrex, because you don't want to get the Floros procs. It's not too consistent. Right? You don't want to run 3.
You also don't want to draw it.
Right,
drawing,
exactly.
It is a powerful card in itself, but drawing it is not advantageous. So I actually like the running 2 choice here.
And quite a lot of draw as well. We got the 1 Alexandrite only, but we also have 3 Pure-Hearted Singers, 3 Blood Pacts, and of course 3 Lesser Perish. And if you guys aren't familiar with this kind of Bloodcraft deck, Dark Feast Bat, what it does is that it focuses on doing a lot of self-damage, which builds up the damage of Dark Feast Bat, which ends up doing a lot of damage to the enemy leader to end the game that way. So that's the entire game plan, is to damage yourself so you have a big win condition at the end.
It's not necessarily easy to win solely on Dark Feast Bat alone, though.
That's
so you do
right.
need to do a little bit of damage along the way. You can't just rely on Big Boy Bat to
That's
bail
where
you at the
Razor
end.
Claw and Valnyric comes in, and we also have the Evil Eye Demons, 3 of, for a potential board clear, because I feel like a lot of players in this tournament have brought Sword, and of course, Evil Eye Demon can clear the Sword boards that they're often trying to build up.
I definitely feel like the Evil Eye Demon was a good play because people have brought Sword. Sword is, a lot of people like playing it. I, for one, love playing it. So seeing the Evil Eye Demon a 3 of, I think was a good choice here on Beamer's part.
A lot of board-based decks in general. We have the Swordcraft, the Shadowcraft as well. Shan brought Forestcraft, which is pretty spicy.
I appreciate the loyalty. As said, he's a loyal man.
We'll see if it works out for him. Let's move on to the next deck from Beam here. That was his Bloodcraft, but of course, he has to bring 3 decks and he has to win with all 3.
So
the second one here.
Shadowcraft, an interesting one.
Shadowcraft kind of snuck up on us, like we haven't seen it a lot in previous tournaments up to this point, but now that Omen of the 10 has settled in a bit, I think it's a pretty big consensus that Shadowcraft is quite powerful. And this one is not running on Arcus alone. Arcus Ghostly Manager is one of the win conditions Shadowcraft used to rely on to turn your lower cost drops into Ghost to deal damage to the enemy leader. But now this one's running a lot more of a mid-rangey package, trying to build up boards with really powerful cards like Skull Ring and Kerberos, Hound of Hades, and then being able to buff it with the new Omen Legendary, Neutral Legendary, Gilnelise, Omen of Craving, giving the entire board +2 attack and being a 3/5 body with Ambush, which can, again, deal more damage to the enemy leader.
It also has Drain as well, doesn't it?
Yes,
So,
it also has Drain.
So it does give you, if you need it at that point in time, it does also give you some self-sustain, which in Shadowverse I think is incredibly important to have, or incredibly useful to have, per se. So having that in there, running 3 of them, expects the game to go a little bit longer maybe. But there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't matter how long the game goes, as long as you win.
This kind of deck relies a lot on building boards, but it has a lot of tools to do so. So it has the Skull Ring, like I said, and the Kerberos, and these help you to proc your your Gremory as well. Yes. So you can evolve all your followers with the enhanced 6 version of Gremory, which is the Shadowcraft legendary from the last expansion. But then you also have the Guild Elise off the back of that, so you can keep snowballing your advantage, and if they can't deal with your entire board, which they often can't, because you also have a lot of good reanimate effects, like from the Skull Ring and Lady Grey Deathweaver, you'll pretty much always have a board to buff and snowball your enemy out of the game.
Can totally agree. Let's take a look at the last deck here. Beamer's Swordcraft deck. My favorite craft.
There you
Love
go.
it to bits. But this is pretty, I don't know, pretty like a pretty standard run-of-the-mill mid-range sword deck. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with playing it as simple.
Yep, by the book. And
By the book.
the thing with Swordcraft now, mid-range Swordcraft, again, this deck focuses on being on the board and snowballing from that way and overwhelming them with tempo, and then at the end game you have some ways to deal damage to their face directly, like with Latham Knights with Storm and Dragon Knights as well. So again, it's a very board-based deck. And in the new expansion, it did lose quite a few tools from the previous ones, but now that we have the new loot package and the new...
some really good tools.
Exactly, because the new usurpation package from the Omen of the 10 expansion, it's sort of what the entire Swordcraft cards in the new expansion were themed around, gives you these loot cards, which give you a lot more value, as well as just being attached to on-curve, fully statted followers.
Yep, so you see here, you've got Servant of Usurpation in there, Usurping Spineblade in there, Ocris, of course, the Omen of Usurpation, and the Apostle of Usurpation. There's a lot of usurpation going on, a lot of loot cards to get, and I can totally respect where that's coming from.
Yep, and you get more value, and you have the board presence already, so you have a bit more value to carry you through the late game, and you win that way.
That's it. But there are also not too many different cards to draw, ultra consistent. Almost everything's a 3-of, bar those 2-2-ofs.
That's right. It's a trade-off, right? You have the two sides. Do you want to run a bunch of 1-ofs to keep the enemy on their toes and you always have an out? Or do you want to be the most consistent so that you always have the best possible draws, right? And I think Bima has gone with very consistent decks here, try and be as consistent as possible, other than that Shadowcraft deck list, which only ran one Arcus, for example.
That's it. I mean, he's practiced, he's studied, run consistent, and just know your opponent and know your opponent's decks.
That's right. We heard him say that he scrimmed like 5 times against this deck.
Just
yesterday.
strategize against knowing what your opponent does. If you can play consistently, that's totally fine. Let's take a look here at Coldier's decks, though. In turn, Coldier is not in this, by to give up. He's here to win. We go to his Swordcraft deck. As you can see, there are a couple of little differences there. Only running 2 of Latham Honorable Knight.
Yes, that is a bit interesting. I think Latham Honorable Knight is quite a strong card. Because of the Accelerate effect, you can also play it as a 2-drop, which doesn't pollute your Arthur Night King pulls. Of course, Arthur Night King pulls 2 drops or lower from your deck into play, and so you can run Latham as additional 2-drops without polluting the Arthur pull at turn 7. So running only 2 is an interesting decision, but it's given room in his deck list to run cards like Lancer of the Tempest, which is really good in the mirror and against board-based decks in general. Swordcraft typically doesn't have a lot of tools to be able to deal with boards who are going wide.
It's their weakness.
Right. Swordcraft is usually really good at single target removal. And in this field, where there's Forestcraft, Swordcraft mirrors, of course, even more board-based decks like Dragoncraft in some respects, as well as Shadowcraft, having that clear effect might just be able to bring Chaldia into the long game so that he can draw the Latham anyway if the game goes longer.
That's exactly it. I can totally respect where this is coming from. In this particular approach, so many people have brought such board-heavy decks. Taking that Lancer in there, just being able to clear out, maybe getting lucky with the one you need, could make all the difference, especially if, go against something or go against a whiteboard deck. Just do that and you're solid. Don't have to worry too much about it anymore and start focusing on single target removal instead.
The Lancer of the Tempest is also potentially another answer to an early Floros coming out of Bloodcraft. We already see the 3 Usurping Spineblades, the Omen of Usurpation, of course, but it never hurts to just, try and be as consistent as possible and not let a 5-3 that came out early run you over.
Yeah, leaving that Floros alone is scary town indeed. Speaking of, let's take a look at Coldier's Bloodcraft deck as well coming up here.
It looks
a little
exactly
bit different.
The same.
Is it the same?
Yeah, I think this is almost the exact same list.
I think it's very, very similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not 100% the same. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's the thing. It's a lot of players have tried it. It's tried and true.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be in this tournament with really high stakes, again, the winner getting a ticket to the World Grand Prix to be able to win $1 million US, then you want to bring the best decks, clearly.
Can't blame him. And, Bloodcraft, a lot of people are playing it. I believe everyone is playing it today, if I'm not mistaken. So, people believe it's going to do well, and, Nothing wrong with believing that. Nothing wrong with hedging your bets on what they feel is a safe deck to play. And keep in mind, you have to win with all three. So why not bring what you think is going to be the best? You know it's not going to get banned out. You've got to play it, so bring what you think is strong.
Speaking of what I think is strong,
here we go.
Chaldea's third deck here, all right? As a dragon main, I feel pretty happy that he's bringing Aggro Dragoncraft.
Aggro Dragoncraft.
Yup, and there's no Dragon Oracle. Of course, Dragon Oracle being the 2 point card that ramps your play points.
Yes.
Well, foregoing that just for more tempo. So we have really early curve here with Goblins and the Disciple of Disdains and just a lot of board flood in general. And then, of course, finishing off with Storm cards and direct damage cards like the Apostle of Disdain, Galmew, the new Omen of Disdain,
yep.
and Azida Haka. And if you guys didn't know, the whole Disdain package for Dragoncraft coming in this Omen of the 10 expansion is all about followers' self-damage. And cards like Disciple of Disdain, which deals 1 damage to one of your cards, and draws you a card, as well as Disdainful Rending, which deals 1 damage to one of your followers and then deals 3 damage to an enemy follower, all help with not only proccing off your Disdain effects, but also just staying on the board and keeping yourself loaded with resources as well.
And then one thing with aggro is the weakness it tends to have sometimes is running out of the ability to play cards.
Yeah.
Because you play so many small cards, so you generally play multiple a turn. Luckily, countering that by running 3 of the Pure-Hearted Singer, just to give yourself a little bit more drawability.
I've played this deck on ladder as well, and you do run out of fuel a lot if you're not running a lot of draw as well. So the Disciple of Disdain, the Singer, they're crucial to this deck's success, I think.
On that note, who do you think is going to take it?
Who do I think is going to take it?
Who's going to take it? I mean,
I do
good
like
decks across the board.
Chaldea's lineup because, of course, he's bringing Dragoncraft, which maybe not a lot of people were expecting as much. But, of course, Bima, on the other hand, is very prepared.
Yes.
So, honestly, I'm just going to have to go with, the confident man himself, Bima. He's said that he's practiced against this lineup many, many times. And I think that his build of Swordcraft I favor a little bit more because running 3 of Latham, I think, is a very good decision. But we'll just have to see how things work out here.
That's totally fair. Coldie, though, could be just prepared, maybe holding it all in that humble giant
That's the thing,
self.
the sleeping giant. Maybe he's going to wake up today and show us how it's done.
Let's find out. We've got Dragon versus Sword to begin with. Coldie on the top. Beam up from the bottom of your screen.
Queuing up the Dragoncraft first is
Going
pretty
in gutsy.
interesting. Yeah.
Going in gutsy.
I think a lot of their strategies is to save the Bloodcraft deck for last, maybe because it's the most comfortable deck to play, and they're hoping to get the first 2 wins first and then Bloodcraft later.
Like an anchor, right? Go for the anchor win. I can respect that. Just save what you believe is the strongest till last in case you run across any hurdles. Makes it nice and easy for you as Beamer decides what he wants to keep here. Currently, he has initially drawn 2 Arthurite Kings and a Cahulan.
And I think Chaldea's made a pretty good decision queuing up the Dragoncraft into the Swordcraft here. Dragoncraft can win against Swordcraft. Even though Swordcraft is widely regarded by a lot of players right now to be one of the best decks in the game, I think Dragoncraft can sneak it in.
So we go into our first few turns here. No early drops, so we'll see a couple of passes to begin with, likely.
And Chaldea drawing his 1 Gildan Elise already, so that's maybe something that he has to keep in mind what to work towards.
Oh, straight for the...
And there's Bima with the emotes.
How incredibly on brand for that man.
That's why people call him BMA, Bad Mannered Albert. Of course, now he's playing Erica, but
doesn't matter.
Regardless.
That's all right, I can respect it. Okay. Grand stage, doesn't matter. He's like, nah, I still got to throw down.
Yeah. And what a hand to throw down with. Chaldea put down the turn 2 Phylene and the Usurping Spineblade just in complete response already.
Getting him a Gilded Boots, an incredibly useful card, because Gilded Boots will just give a follow-up rush.
That's right.
Save an Evo point for a rush play. I think it's one of the better loot cards to have for utility. So RNG on Beamer's side as he draws another Cahulan here for turn 3.
And Bima has a really good play against the Singer. If he wants, he can deny a draw and just play the Octress here. It's the best on-curve play. And I believe it's the best play he has in general. Yeah, just deny the Aggro Dragoncraft any draw.
Straight for it again.
Like I've said before, Dragoncraft, when they can't get their fuel going, this build of Dragoncraft in particular, they're kind of left stranded in the water in terms of what plays they can make because they don't have enough resources to make impactful decisions in the later turns of the game especially.
Totally fair. We do try and see Coldie here. Is it establishing a wide board, knowing that Swordcraft can't deal with wide boards all that well, and Beamer didn't bring that Lancer.
And there's all 3 Phylenes in the first 4 turns of the game.
Just get him out early, just onezo donezo, nothing wrong with that as we consider Beamer's options here going into turn 4. He has not got a lot.
Bima has the Evolve though, so what he can do is he can play the Servant of Usurpation and evolve it over one of the Phylenes potentially, and then he'll get a loot out of it Then he can decide what he wants to do from there.
It might be the safest play here. I mean, otherwise the Cahoolans aren't going to get through those 1-3s. They're just a bit too strong for it to do. So not necessarily not a bad spot, but definitely a questionable spot as he has to consider the options available. You'll find that Beamer will generally take his time with a turn, and there's no harm in that. You've got 90 seconds per turn to work with, so make the most of it.
Yeah, especially in a competition like this, you know, you want to make sure that you're looking at all of your outs, every decision, you know. Unlike me on ladder who just slams down the cards in my hand.
I'm the same. I just play it. Don't worry about it. Just play cards.
If it's in my hand and I can play it, I'll play it.
It's on the
right?
field.
That's
It's on the field.
That's the whole idea. But I do think that Beema has to be reactive here. He is going second as well, so he needs to make sure that this dragon can't get too much of a lead on board. For Swordcraft, it's pretty important to have the tempo, so let's evolve this, run it into the Phylene.
Yep, the Clash ability gives it +1/+1, gets another Gilded Boots.
Not exactly the best result in this
Especially
situation.
with 2 Caholans in hand.
That's right,
He's
it already
got
has
rush
rush.
cards, so it's like, oh, but they could come in handy later on. Playing the second Caholan here, trading into that Pure-Hearted Singer.
Wow,
Is
interesting.
it Coldier a card, though?
Interesting. Running the damage into the Phylene and then running a Cahoolan into the Singer there.
Serpent Disdain on the field, evolving it, making it that 4/4. That beefy spear he is holding.
Yep, and that's going to draw him a card as well, because again, the Disdain package procs when your followers are damaged, and this counts as being damaged, so it's going to draw Chaldea a card again.
That's a
getting
big
that
card
fuel
too.
in.
And they've both got pretty stacked hands at the moment. There's been a lot of card draw going on, which is there's definitely no harm in that. Keep yourself as many utilities as you can, especially as you get into the middle in the endgame.
Although 3 of Chaldea's cards are White Frost Whisper, because he did get 3 of those Phylenes in the early game.
Hey, if they come in handy.
Yeah, and it's pretty useful here, using it to clear off that Servant of Usurpation that otherwise would have been a headache for that 1/1 to deal with.
Beamer coming into turn 5, drawing a Latham Honorable Knight, which he can use for Accelerate if he needs to.
Well,
but you know, what are his options here? He's got Cahoolan, Dragon Knights, or Accelerate to Latham.
Yeah, Beema's got a pretty good curve going on. He can play the Dragon Knights into the Zeta, into the Arthur, into the Latham, and that's just your turns
That's
planned
just
out.
solid.
Yeah.
That's nice and easy. And you have other utility cards if you need them. Does mean you won't be able to use those Gilded Boots, but you know what, that's okay.
That's right, and the Dragon Knight isn't as useful here because Beema knows that Chaldea's played 3 Phylenes, so there's still White Frost Whispers in hand. If he plays a Vayne and evolves over the 4/2, he's just going to get destroyed by a 2 play point spell that he generated off of Phylene here.
Definitely one of the most important parts of Shadowverse is remembering your opponent's hand, downloading information where he can. Plays that Cahoolan to get rid of the Disdain and accelerates the Latham Honorable Knight. It's going to give the Gilded Boots to that one on the right and trade that through.
So Beema recognizes that using the Dragon Knights here is just going to get him in a bad position next turn because of those White Frost Whispers in hand. We'll just be able to clear it for very little cost to Chaldea.
I can respect also, you know, use the boots here. If you're going to play on curve, you're not going to get a chance to use them. Might as well use that utility that you have drawn as the Aelia Dragon Sword comes on the field.
I mentioned this is going to be evolve. Again, Aelia Dragon Sword, when it's evolved, gains you a play point orb. So you get to ramp towards your bigger turns here.
And that is exactly what is going to happen. Why be at 6 play points when you can go to 7?
It's just math.
Free real estate.
There you go. I was wondering when that would come
That's
out.
why I gave you the 1 second pause. I'm going to give you time to sigh. That's okay. There it is. There's the sigh. Turn 6. Is now able to play that Zeta Crimson Lancer, which 2 are in
Yeah, but if he runs the Zeta into the 4/3, it can just trade with the Singer or use a White Frost Whisper, so it's... There's just not really that much more options in this. You know?
Yeah, that's it. You drop it, you might as well. You've got a second one.
By the way, can I just say, these all animated decks, by the way, because they're using the tournament accounts and they get all the animated
It's so shiny,
cards.
chat.
It is.
It's so shiny.
It's beautiful.
I'm blinded.
Yeah.
Blinded
Oh.
with the shine. Ooh.
Gal
Okay.
Mew draw. Not so good right now, but against a potential Arthur, for example, coming off soon.
Definitely something to be wary of. But at the moment, not playing the Dragon Aficionado to get an extra fire drop up on the board, going for a wide field with the Servant of Disdain on after that.
Ah, considering just trading the Singer here, yes, and saving the White Frost Whisperer for a bigger threat
Given
later
that
on.
card draw, why
Works-
not?
that works
Worked
a
out
lot.
well. Could play the Somniferous White Worm and get it on the field. A wide board there. Again, knowing that Beamer hasn't really got any wide removal options in that deck.
I think Beamer just has to play the Arthur on this turn. Arthur Knight King, drag a bunch of 2-drop followers from his deck into play, and then answer the threats one by one. But
Also thins that 2 drops out of his deck a little bit so he can start drawing the other bigger followers in play.
although not Chaldea has a lot of 1 defense followers in play, and there's that's not very synergistic with the Galmew he has as well.
It is not great. Unfortunately, no more play points available on Beamer's side, so he can't use that Gilded Boots. But that's okay.
And Beema's Arthur didn't pull the Servant of Usurpation because he drew all 3.
That's it. So just, can see Beam there just like, ooh, has to think this through.
Especially because the Servant of Usurpation is usually the best evolved target after your Arthur turn to get you more loot. But now that he has it all in his hand, it's a lot less effective.
Now I can respect here, like again, Beam taking his time, taking down notes, things like that, because he cannot make any more plays this turn. Unless he wants to potentially evolve something, just wait it out, think it through, take your time.
Use the time of the latitude. He's going to evolve the Celia, fearing a potential clapback from potentially a Gilnelise or a clear in some way or another.
Trying to outplay the opponent, know their deck, know their hand. Can Beamer make it work though? Almost out of time on his turn, contemplating going for the aggressive commit. And that'll be Beamer's turn for now.
Now going into
Caldia, what you got
turn.
for us? What you drawing?
Yeah, it's a bit awkward to use the Galmew on this kind of board, but you need to clear stuff, right? So you run the 2-1 into the ward, I imagine, and then you can deal with the other threats by running the Fire Drake Whelp and then White Frost Whispering, or you could run the Fire Drake Whelp and then... Yeah, you can run the White Worm into the 2-2, the Fire Drake Whelp into the 4-2, and then you can play the Galmew, potentially.
That is definitely one option you can do, and possibly the favorable. And let's see if Collier makes that play. But keep in mind, Beamer does still have an evolution point available as well, so retaliations using that effect are always something to keep an eye out on, because he gets that extra one because he started second.
And he was able to save a lot of evolution points throughout this game by using Gilded Boots and a lot of Rush followers as well. It's kind of Swordcraft's strength.
Yeah. We're going into turn 8 with an evolution point. You know, when that would normally be, you know, big boy Lathan time is a great place to be.
And he has Dragon Knights on 8 as well.
Omen of Craving on the field now, giving that slide buff out, playing the White Frost Whisper, clearing out the there, targeting the Holy Knight, also removing that, and just going for damage.
Interesting to play it out that way. Maybe with Caldia's hand, he realized that he wasn't going to get a wide board anytime soon, so this is probably the best opportunity to play the Gilnelise for effect.
So, okay, turn 8 here on Beamer's side. There are a couple of options he can play, of which, you know, what do you think is best? So he can chuck double Dragon Knight in the field, get some big boys ready to go. Zeta is available with a 2-drop, and he has got multiple 2-drops in hand also.
That's
Or
right.
he could also go for the 4 and 2 2-drops if he wants to go a bit wider.
The Zeta play doesn't seem that appealing to me because you don't get the Beatrix from it because you already have one Beatrix in your hand.
That is very true. So you lose a lot of utility.
Yeah.
A lot of utility gain. So I wouldn't think the Zeta play would be really well here. But you never know what we'll see.
Usually on turn 8, you'd play the 8-cost Dragon Knights, but Beamer just really thinking this through, making sure he's playing the right
He might want to play it
cards.
next turn with a Gilded Boots,
Yes,
for example, instead. So
exactly.
he might want to give it an extra rush, in which case does he play a defensive turn and go wider?
I think he's also saving Gilded Boots for a potential Latham draw off the top, which would be very, very powerful.
As he has already played his Lathan from earlier, accelerating it.
But there's still 2 in the deck.
That is 3 of those big handsome boys. They're ready to party.
Big, handsome boys. He is quite thick, isn't
The
he?
double Dragon Knight play here. Bring out Siegfried.
It's going to be the Siegfried and Lancelot play. Interesting. And he's going to go face. Trying to go a
Just
bit aggressive here.
Go aggressive. Take some damage and like it. Oh, the Evo as well.
Yeah,
Using it.
Evo, go face. The aggressive plays.
That's it. A quarter of the life gone in an instant. So we end here. Going into Collia's turn.
Now he can Galmew. It's not that good Galmew though, because it's not trading into any followers that are
Not saying
conducive to
huge
trading
benefit
into
to
it.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what can he do?
What's he likely to do? But he's got 10 now, so he can play anything in his hand. His hand is fully available to be used. But what is beneficial here? I mean, let's look at what's staring him down. I got 5-4 with Bane and Void staring him down. A 5-5, and just Arthur just sitting around and be like, yo, what up? I'm just here, hanging out.
He could spend. It depends how defensive he wants to go, right? He's probably going to spend 1 Craving Splendor to clear the Siegfried.
Yep, which is it's an easy removal play. I can respect it.
And then how do you want to deal with the Lancelot, or do you not want to deal with the Lancelot?
just
This is what I was
ignore
going
the
to say.
Lancelot,
He
yeah,
could
yeah.
just play the Craving Splendor on his Apostle of Disdain and just
which
go
makes
face.
it a 7-1. And
Swing.
just go SM all.
There it
There we
is,
go.
going for the
Big
face.
Damage. Big damage.
Big damage.
10 defense points gone. Beamer down to 4 now. Has to do a lot to turn this around. Obviously that 7-1's not going to survive, but he has to get rid of the 3-5-2.
Yeah, well, this is kind of dire straits for Beamer, right? Because Beamer doesn't know that Caldia doesn't have an Azzy Dahaka in hand, for example, and even if he doesn't, he still has the Galmew in hand for potential burn damage. And And he's got a Dragon Nest in hand as well to try and draw into more answers. And of course, if he top decks an Azidahaka, that's his game right there.
That's that's a big old oof right
exactly.
there. You're like, well then.
Unless Beema puts up a defensive front, which is why maybe he's wanting to play the Bear Knight here.
Yeah. The Bear Knight will be at 5, so it will be a 4-4. Unless he wants to play other cards beforehand.
So
9 play points, much to do.
You can play the Bear Knight, the Valse, clear the 7-1. How are you clearing the 3-5 though? You have to run a Lancelot in, I suppose?
Yeah, not particularly ideal. Obviously the Arthur goes in the 7-1, I assume, so he's targeting there. Just thinking about his turn. There we go. See you later. But your value was there, running the 5-5 to the 3-5, throwing it out. Playing the Beatrix Undying Glow, which does have Storm on it. And going for some SM Orc of his own, playing that defensive Holy Bear Knight, going up to 4-4 with Ward in the field to keep defense points a little bit safer.
That's what I like to see. I think the Bear Knight was pretty important there. Oh!
That said.
Although that's not lethal, I don't think.
But everything's a step closer.
Yep. He could just play the Galmu, try and clear as much as possible, and then turn after play that the Apostle.
Like looking at Beema's hand here, I think he's starting to run out of acceleration at the moment. Only a lot of weak cards, no real strong ones to back him up now, except for one Zeta. Disdain coming out with that 5-4 evolve effect.
Yep, clear the ward, I imagine. Oh, he's thinking about it. Clear the ward and then play the White Frost Whisperer on the 5-1. Is the option here?
The option. Let's see what play Coldier chooses to make. A lot on the line, no harm in taking his time.
Yeah, the full clear is a bit interesting because you'd have to sacrifice your Galmu. And is it necessary? Because the deck lists are open. Chaldean knows that Beema is not running anything like a Sky Fortress or a Guild so he doesn't have to worry too much about leaving stuff on board.
Rending coming out, taking out a bunch of stuff.
Wow, and actually not playing the White Frost Whisperer, just trading it here. Okay, I can respect that. Leave it like this, and then next turn you can play the Apostle and maybe White Frost Whisper something down.
Second, oh, it's a big drag. Again, he needed big boy plays. He needed big boy plays.
Pretty big draw.
This is a big draw for Beema.
I imagine it's going to be a Siegfried Lancelot yet again.
I wouldn't see what else you would do.
Sorry, yeah,
thinking it over. Lancelot. Thinking it over.
He wants to get some damage in, right? He can't just have a 2-5 sitting there. I mean, I guess he could if he's expecting this to go late, but he's already at 1 defense. I do not expect this game to go very late.
You never know what's going to happen. But that said, 1 is very close. Very close.
Well, 1's not 0, so
it's not
out yet.
It's not over until it is over. Beema not sure if he wants to play as Dragon Knights or not. He's just thinking it through, like, what does he do?
What's the other play, though? Like, do you want to...
I don't really see one. I think he has to play it.
The only other play I could see was, like, a really paranoid Valse for Holy Pure Bomb and get rid of their Dragon's Nest and prevent them from drawing.
And Percival coming out to the field with 1 Servant of Usurpation. Trying to start getting some loot where he can. That little cheeky heal.
Ah, I like the Percival play because if he has Galmu and a clear here, he now can't deal damage by running into the Lancelot.
Yeah. Smart.
That's heads up. That's heads up.
That is what happens when you take your time, think about it, and try and know your opponent's deck better than they know it. So I can respect that.
And Chaldean's got some pretty rubbish draws at this point. He's running out of steam.
Neither of those draws are unfortunately very useful to him. So I think Beema's just like, I'm just going to grit this out.
Yep.
As long as I can stay alive and keep going, I will eventually win. There's only 4 cards in Collier's hand now. Yeah, not a lot of useful stuff.
Chaldea's only play is to play the Apostle of Disdain and then run it into the 5-4 and then White Frost Whisper it. But again, that Lancelot gains damage, gains attack based on how many allied followers you have on board. So Beema can just then flood the board and attack face with a gigantic, absolutely gigantic...
Beefy.
Percival, rather, is what I meant to say.
And the White Frost Whisper targeting, removing the Percival Lord of Flames there.
He's going to play both Ailas, I suppose?
It's hard, because, you know, he can play that, but at the same time, then he reveals to Beema that there's no options left.
Yep, exactly.
So
do you value the hand hiding, right?
Yeah, do you go for the bluff play or not?
He's just going to go for it.
He's going to play 1. Is he going to play the 2nd? I respect that. Hold on the 1.
Yep.
Hold on the 1. Going for the bluff play.
But is there anything that Chaldean can do to make it back from this? Of course, if he draws Galmi off the top, or if he draws Azidahaka off the top of his deck, he can still be in this game. But if Beema can survive here, it's going to be tough for Chaldean to make it back in, because Beema has the tempo for days and more resources in hand as well.
He really does. Beema has gone from what was a relatively tricky spot, not crazy tricky, but like not particularly stable, into a rather comfortable area here. Can start playing stuff for other removal options and things like that, or can just go face and go hard. Obviously that Ailia needs to be removed though.
I think Beema has 13 damage here, so not quite lethal. Maybe I'm miscounting that, but it's very close. So I think Bima just needs either
That
this
is
turn
that is
or
Bima's
just
thinking
one,
face.
just one more turn. and
He's
then
got
we
the
can get this.
esports pose. He's thinking hard.
He's not esports pose. Esports
He
pose
was.
when
He
you
was.
cross your arms.
You missed it.
Nah, you know, if I didn't see it, it didn't
Attention.
exist.
Pay attention. Wow, okay. Zeta Crimson Lancer on the field. He's using that rush capability to remove the Aguila Dragon Talk, getting the Beatrix in hand, playing the Beatrix Undying Blue on the field, which gives itself Storm, going straight in for the SM Walk, taking 4 damage from that, as well as the expecting 6 afterwards.
And this is going to do a lot of damage.
Bringing Colia with 3 more as well, because that effect bringing him down to 3.
And Bima's been playing his followers really smartly here, not... Oh!
He gritted it out!
Oh, off the top! You can see Bima shake his head there.
Ozzy Dahaka.
Well, Caldia, look at Caldia. It was like, oh, just have a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
And that's what he hit.
There you
A little
go.
bit of concentrated power of will.
And you know...
You left me wide open. I'm sorry.
And Bima played really smart there, you know, always making sure that the followers on his board weren't susceptible to a potential Galmu play from the opposite side. But at the end of the day, Dragoncraft has a lot of these powerful tools, and that's how you build your deck. Just put all the Storm cards inside.
The beefiest boy comes out. He's ready to party. Everyone else is tired. It's 5 a.m.
That's right.
And he's keen to just keep going.
Yeah,
and
my
keep
spirit
going.
animal, basically. You know?
That's good to know. I've learned a lot about you in the last 5 seconds.
Well, I revealed Ozzy Dahaka as a card, so
That's
he's
it.
like my son.
Ah.
So seeing him win is like, oof.
You've got the papers to prove it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
But no, that's a very, very well done. He just gritted it out. Both players there went a little bit this kind of weird, not fully offensive, not fully defensive style. It's
Right.
been like, can't afford to lose here, but gotta just start getting through things and keep myself going as long as possible.
I think really smart plays from either side. They went aggressive when I thought they should have gone aggressive. They went defensive when they should have. And I think that was just proof that they really practice these matchups and they know how to play these decks.
Telling you, Cody, you know, he may have practiced just as much as Beamer, maybe more. Maybe just
more.
not talking about it.
He
not
just
saying
wants to
anything.
keep his cards close to his chest, you know, and let no one see how much you actually practiced, and then you'll surprise everyone.
Hey, it's the way to go. You know, just keep it humble, keep it simple.
It's called a hustle, is what it's called.
Hustle.
He's got
Is
this.
that what it's called?
Yeah,
But again, well done for that first game. But it is the first of 3.
that's right.
Still a lot more to go. That Dragoncraft deck done and dusted. What do you feel? Do you feel it was a good spot from playing it first?
I think it was actually pretty smart to queue it first, thinking that Bima was going to queue in not his bad deck, either his Swordcraft or Shadowcraft, because I think Dragon does have game against those decks, and we saw it just then. If you just be aggressive and they don't have enough defensive tools to go against you, Swordcraft especially, not that many defensive tools, then I think you got it.
Let's go into game 2 here.
Here we go. What have they
do we
brought?
got?
Ah.
Blood versus Sword. Getting that blood out of the way if he wins it.
Caldia sidestepping that Swordcraft mirror,
Nope,
not
does
touching
not
that with a
want that.
10-foot pole.
Nope.
Because the Swordcraft mirror is one of the hardest matchups to navigate, and it takes a while as well, because there's so many intricate little decisions.
Yes.
And you don't want to be getting into decision fatigue this early in the tournament, that's for sure, when you still have a lot of games to play.
Beamer keeping his entire hand. Coldia rightfully ditching that Floros. Don't really want to keep one of those if you can avoid it.
That's right, because Floris has that new mechanic that's introduced in Omen of the 10, Invocation, where if you fulfill certain conditions on your turn, you can pull one out of your deck and into play immediately. And Floros, the condition is that you have to deal damage to yourself 4 times in a single turn, and then it'll pop out of your deck.
This is easier than it sounds. It sounds tricky, but with the right cards, relatively simple.
Especially when the whole deck is built around that kind of strategy, especially since not only are you getting Floris out of the deal, but it's also building towards your Darkfeast Bat as well.
Alrighty, so we go into second turn for Coldia, playing that Servant of Lust. Starting to get those Dark Feast Bat ticks going. 1 down.
But Swordcraft, I think, can have a lot of game against Darkfeast Bat. A lot of people think that Darkfeast Bat is rightfully so, very strong, but there are counters to it. Now, Swordcraft has these counters in the fact that they can overwhelm them on the board, they can clear all the followers that they're trying to do incremental damage with, and notably so, you can steal their restorative properties from Floros using Octra's Omen of Usurpation, which oftentimes puts them in the range for you to be able to destroy them with your board.
That's it.
Because that heal from Floros is really valuable for keeping that Darkfeast Bat alive, because they're constantly damaging themselves, right?
Yeah, they constantly are, and we see Beam here already going for the 2 damage straight to face. The SM Morktrats playing the Cahoon here, going to use that rush, take out that Servant of Lust. You do have a much easier job against Darkfeast Bat removing life, because they're already getting rid of it themselves. They're doing half the work for you.
That's right.
If you can keep on it, make sure those heals don't come out.
If you can answer the Floros.
Yeah, answer the Floros, then you're good to go.
Now, I really like the fact that Bima used the Kahulin over the the Spine Blade, the Usurpation Spine Blade.
That could be useful later on.
Exactly. That Spine Blade also directly answers Floros, because Floros
Yes.
has 3 defense.
Yes, just like, boop, see you later. Again, Beam has been doing his scrims, knows what's going on here.
Yeah, he's definitely played this matchup a lot of times. Not even in scrims. I imagine he's played this a lot on ladder as well. Ladder has a lot of Dark Beast bats running around because it is very strong.
Yeah, there's a common matchup as well, seeing Swordcraft taking on Bloodcraft. It's one of the more common matches we're seeing at the moment. So just being on that level, being a little bit ahead, knowing exactly what to do to go for 2 more damage here based from those Knights from Beamer. Already getting 4 defense points worth of value. They're doing well.
Yeah.
Those Knights are working hard. They're getting that overtime pay. Don't want that
That's the
check.
thing. Caldia doesn't have an answer until that Evil Eye on turn 5, but that is coming soon, and this Vera evolve is going to keep him pretty healthy, although Beema does have the Dragonites and does have the Apostle of Usurpation as well to answer this Vera.
But this does mean effectively a turn where Beamer cannot do very much because of that effect, making not only Vera herself, but Caldia a little bit immune to that damage.
I imagine that Beema is probably going to trade the Apostle of Usurpation into the Vera here and save the Dragonites on turn 8, because he doesn't have that much fuel in his hand right now. Oh, there's another Dragonite,
That
speaking
said,
of which.
just gained some, so what are the plays here? There's not a whole lot, apart from setting up, that Beamer can really do. There's not much for him to target, just that pure-hearted Singer on the field.
Yeah, you just trade the Servant of Usurpation because it gains that Clash +1/+1.
Yep, and you get that loot card as well, so there's nothing wrong with that.
I think this is, oh, he's actually playing a Dragonites here, okay.
I can respect this, like setup. Why not just get some setup done? Get some stuff on the board, go a bit wider, hope there's no kind of weird board clears out of nowhere.
So it has to be Siegfried or Percival if he wants to clear this Vera this turn. Otherwise, he's not playing the Vera and he can't go face with the Knight. So he's going to use Percival, evolving it into the Vera and then running the 2 damage into the face.
Get dunked.
That's a lot of damage on that Percival.
That's a lot of damage.
Look at that, he's gigantic.
10-2, what a beefy boy.
But we're going into Caldia's Evil Eye Demon.
Evil Eye Demon, yeah. Then there we go, just like, whoop, none of that.
Yep.
None
today.
Not today. Blah.
Pretty rough for Beema here.
Very solid Evil Eye Demon pledge. Evolve and turn. What more do you need?
Oh, he drew a Zeta, so that's a potential play.
That is a potential play, and he's drawn it on curve. I can respect if he chooses to play that. You get it out there, put your Beatrix Blue in hand.
Yeah, because the Apostle of Usurpation is really good for dealing with wide boards, which otherwise Beema doesn't really have a lot of answers to. And the Dragonites, I imagine you want to save for turn 8 at this point, because again, you're running out of fuel here. So, but if you do play the Zeta, you're just running it in, and then it's not going to...
Then it's kind of it, like one's dunzo, right?
So, and it's going to trade evenly instead of trading over it, so...
Chooses to play the Dragonites, bringing out Vayne, Indomitable Knight.
I think it's actually okay to play the Dragonites here. I was saying that you maybe want to save it for the turn 8, but Swordcraft has a very powerful slot at turn 8, in that you can play the Dragonites, you can play the Latham,
There's a
play
lot
the
of options
Octress as well.
A lot of options. And also, that Vayne's back at full health because of that Gilded Goblet.
Yeah, and it's hard to deal with this now if you're
5-7 is hard. 5-7 is just, it's a beefy individual.
So
tricky to deal with.
You could evolve a Vera into it and then play the Snarling Chain. Looks like he's going to get a Floros out this turn for sure.
Yep. And that's fair. Maybe he'll go for the Floros Evolve instead. Unlikely. Wouldn't make a huge amount of sense, but you never know what they're going to do. Loss comes out. There is the 4 self-damage.
This is smart. And then you evolve the Floros and then run it in.
That's what I was thinking. Like, evolve the Floros? I can do it, yeah.
And you actually restore 5 defense. Now, unevolved Floros restores 3 defense on last words. Evolved restores 5. It's quite a beefy heal.
So that was a beefy heal, a good Vayne and Double Knight removal, and kind of got that for free. It cost 4 life to do. The Vol's Magical Marksman.
And Beema can deal with the board by using the Apostle and a loot card. And you get the blade.
Nothing wrong with the blade. Blade's good. And just give some more damage.
I think he was hoping for the Goblet because restoring your defense to get yourself out of range of the Dark Beast Bat. We do see the Dark Beast Bat in Caldia's hand. It's always going to be a threat at this point on.
That's it, like, you know, it's just eventually going to hit and it's going to hurt. It ain't going to be nice.
And there's another one, so he can go...
He can start playing now if he's got 2 of them.
And the Valnrig is also active, so we know that Caldia has at least did self-damage to himself 7 times this game.
Yep, so it's precisely 7. So he wins next turn unless there's a heal, basically.
Basically.
Now, if you're in Beamer's spot, Beamer has to immediately go, there's a second one in hand.
Yep.
He just go, I got to turn left. Can I deal 12 damage in a turn?
So he's hoping for Goblet here.
Yeah, he was hoping for Goblet. Or a heal of some kind, yes.
It's got to be Goblet.
He has to, like, that's all he can do is, you know, play and hope he gets a Goblet.
That's
That
Boots.
is not a Goblet.
He's got another one.
Is RNG on Beamer's side?
Oh.
It is not. Go for the 4 damage.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That is going to be 2 games to Koldia.
Yeah,
Provided
wow.
Koldia makes the Dark Beast bat play, which would be really weird if he didn't. Just going to drop that down.
Have some faith in Kaldia. He knows what he's doing.
He does, he does.
Out comes the Dark Beast bat for another 7 damage.
Taking game 2.
Oof.
Koldia from Singapore. But we are not over yet.
It's not over yet. We've seen reverse sweeps before.
Reverse
Keep
sweeps,
in
if it
mind.
happens, man, it happens. So Koldia now has to play the Swordcraft deck left remaining to them. Now don't forget, this is Swordcraft with a little bit of utility with that Lance of the Tempest in there, ready to counter a wide board.
The problem with the Swordcraft in the Swordcraft mirror is that it's missing a Latham, and the first Swordcraft player to get a Latham usually has quite a big advantage.
Yes.
You can start running the Knights in faster.
That's
So it's going to
exactly
be interesting to see how these two builds of the same kind of archetype face off against each other and which one is truly the more powerful build.
Also, it's going to come down to simply what cards they draw and the anticipation of the opponent. Can they download their opponent's hand fast enough to get into a more advanced position
That's
and
right.
take this out? So
It's always a balance act, right? Of what you want to play around and what you want to ignore to advance your game plan more. So
Now keep in mind, if Beamer does lose this game, his dream does not end here. This is a double elimination tournament. There are 4 players. He would get another chance in the lower bracket against the loser of the next match between Dreamlife and Shen.
that's right. But then you'd have to reset the bracket at the final.
Exactly, which is a very difficult. But we've seen bracket resets happen before, seen him win, seen him take it out. But let's go into the next game. There's going to be Koldia's Swordcraft versus... Who knows what Beamer's picking?
Who knows?
Who knows?
So far, Beamer's been picking Swordcraft
He has
consistently,
been.
trying to get a win with that. Maybe he'll switch now, but maybe he'll stick with it.
Then he has to win with all 3 decks anyway, so does it really matter?
That's right.
He has to win with all 3. He goes for Shadowcraft. Beamer going first. I don't mind the initial hand getting that out. Trey feels early on. Having a Belon is good to go as well. What's
Yes.
Koldia going to pick?
Kaldia also has Arthur in his opening hand. Does he want to keep that to make sure that he has that turn 7 power play? Or does he want to mulligan it for a more early game? Now, against Shadowcraft, they usually do have a lot of followers presence on board quite early, so maybe mulliganing it is the correct decision, but he does keep it to make sure that he's not fizzling out later in the game.
Yep, and gets Chromatic Jewel at start instead. Which means they're obviously in a first pass here from Beamer. Not drawing, no 1-drops, no Chromatic Jewels for you, my friend. We do see Koldia with 1, though, immediately going into Thought mode as his first 2 draws come into hand. He's going to play that because I don't think he has enough 4 cost at the moment.
gotta be the
Playing
Hemera.
Queen, yeah, the Queen, Hemera, the White.
In this matchup in particular, because Shadowcraft is very board-based, and if you let them have a board, they're just going to Gremory you, they're going to Gilnalise you.
Yep.
It's not pretty. So you want to get the Hemera out as fast as possible to deal with their board as much as you can.
That's it. Koldia does have that 1 tool for clearing out wide board, but that 1 Lancer, if he draws it, could come in handy. But in the meantime, all he can do is just find ways to generate followers as much as possible. We do see that Belonus. He's Belonus, the Shining. He comes out.
Yeah, that's what he says.
He does.
You
That's why I
got
said
it.
I know my English voice is a Shadowverse sometimes.
But Kaldia has got all the removal and all the tools to deal
Boom.
with Bima's early game here. Kaldia also has that Octris, which is really good against Last Words, and of course, Shadowcraft is full of those.
Full of those. With Octris, how that works is plays it, steals the last word of something else and makes it its own.
Yeah, very
Rejects
powerful.
their reality and replaces it with their own.
And people think that you have to play Octris on a really big, beefy target, like a really high-value target
like
for
a
it to be
Florus
good.
or something.
But you don't. If you play Octris on literally anything, you have a vanilla statted follower with just an on-stat curves, 3.23, with an upside, and you've just made your opponent spend more play points for less as
For
well.
less, yeah, because they've also lost that last word. So, there's such a big tempo swing when you play Octris.
Yep. So don't be fooled by thinking, oh, I have to play this on like a Mordecai or something.
Don't be fooled.
You play Octris on anything, and you're coming out ahead.
Feels good, man.
Yeah, it feels real good.
Feels amazing, man. Beamer just deciding where he's going to go face this 3-2 or not.
Well,
He does.
The board has to be dealt with. Again, Swordcraft is also a board-based deck.
Yes.
But what does he want to play this turn?
Can't be letting it go wide.
I think he's just going to play one of those Orthruses here, just as a follower to have.
Just to have something on the board.
Or he could just pass. Passing is fine because it prevents the powerful Hemera turn that Beamer knows
Beamer
Kaldia
knows
has.
is coming. Like, he knows that because of that Chromatic Jewel earlier on, he has to know Hemera's in hand. So does Beamer want to give it up or not? Consulting his notes, reading the sheet.
I love players who take notes. it's heartwarming, you know? They're taking it very seriously, counting the
Just
hands.
thinking it through. It's like, he does choose to play the Orthodox Junior Hellhound.
I don't know if you saw in the last World Grand Prix last year, Akamaru Red was counting fairies on his fingers.
He's a
while he was
mathematician,
playing.
though.
That's true, he is a mathematician.
Mathematician. Akamaru Red.
Now, this might be worth it because the Hemra is going to trade evenly into this 4-3, leaving up a 1-1 unless Chaldea wants to trade over it with an evolve point. So, but is that worth it is the question.
That is the game here. What's he going to think? What's he going to do?
It's also actually quite good to just play the Octress here and evolve over this, but it looks like he just wants to save his evolve points. Run this in, get a 1-1, be happy with it.
Be happy with it. It's something on the board for free. It's only a 1-1, but it's something, and you got to start somewhere.
Now, Bima has an interesting decision point here. Does he want to play the Lady Grey Evolve, or does he want to play the Andrealphus Evolve? Andrealphus, of course, on the Evolve gives the followers in your hand last words draw card. Looks like he is going to go for it because I think this is the correct play because I think Bima's running out of fuel here.
I agree. Also, there's a lot of followers in hand. It's all followers in hand, so give him all last words draw a card.
And then just play the Bellinus, and then next turn you can even play the Lady Grey as well.
It's just a good utility option. So much card draw.
You just
going
want
from running out of options to like now I'm going to have 4 more options.
Exactly. You just want to have as many resources as possible because, again, this is a deck where you're playing a lot of smaller followers and trying to snowball out of that using these followers.
Octress and the Usurpation coming out on the field. Cold is like, I want some cards.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful after buffing your cards with an Andrealphus and then stealing not only the Bellinus' last words, but also the Andrealphus' last words.
Not a bad play from Caldia at all.
Yep.
Definitely a good time to use it.
Wow, that Octress is extremely valuable in this matchup in particular because Shadowcraft is known for having last words effects.
Yes. He's like, it's mine now. I made this smile.
Out comes the Spine Blade.
Spine Blade on the field, getting more of those delicious loot cards. More treasure.
So what can Bima do now? He can play the Lady Grey Evolve and then play something else. He could also play the Orthrus just to clear the 4-3.
Tough choice here. A lot of these are going to have that extra card draw, so he can always try and go for more draws if he needs to.
I think it's just going to be Orthrus and then maybe play the Andrealphus and then save the Lady Grey for a rainier day.
Oh, but Orthrus Junior Hellhound coming onto the field does have that draw effect. Also, if he needs it, Frontline Cavalier being drawn.
Oh, he's just playing it now. I want to get as much tempo as possible before a potential Lancer of the Tempest turn.
He does know that there is one in Caldia's deck, so plays that Letter Grain Deathweaver, evolves it with the Drain, and the balance comes
And this plays exactly into Gildan Lease on turn 7 as well.
As indeed it does. Smart boy.
Now it's Chaldea going to answer this. Again, he can't play the Lancer of the Tempest for the enhanced 7 cost quite yet. Still 1 play point off. His other option is that he can evolve the Frontline Cavalier that he drew into one of these higher threats. But then how are you answering a 3-5 body here? You can...
A lot of options in hand, but...
He has the Gilded Necklace, so he can evolve the Frontline Cavalier and then buff it with the Gilded Necklace and then run it into the 3-5, but then he's still leaving up 2 bodies on the board.
Frontline Cavalier coming out in the field instead. Going to evo that to add an extra couple of bodies onto the field.
That's
2 more
right.
followers generated by that Frontline Cavalier effect. And he would heal for every one of them played that offers a follower, but already at maximum health, so it doesn't really do anything.
And like I said, I think this is going to be a Gilded Necklace onto the front line and run into the Lady Grey.
I respect that. Let's see what play makes. Is that going to be the
He could also
case?
just run into the Orthrus if he really wants.
Cahulan coming out instead.
This works.
Rushes through the 4-2, takes out the 4-2.
I think the way Chaldea read this is that Bima was flooding the board in preparation for a Gildan Lease or a Gremry, so just try and answer as much as possible.
I respect this.
prevent
Leaves a
that.
3-5 up, and the 3 does have Drain on it, which is like, oof. But right now he's at maximum health anyway. It doesn't really matter.
He's got a really good play on 7, though. He can play the Fran for both Curse and Attendant, and then answer 2 threats here. So you Fran's Curse, the 4-3, you play the Attendant for the Necromancy 6, run it into the 1-2, and then you can either run the 3-5 into the face, or you can use it to trade into the 1-1 Heavy Knight.
Definitely a couple of options here for Beamer to choose from. What does he choose to go with? That sounds like a favorable play. I mean, it gets up on the board, it deals with your opponent's followers. Not against it.
No more evolve points as well, meaning that this Lady Grey that he just drew is a lot less valuable. Maybe going to save it for Arcus fuel potentially later on in the game.
That's possibly true. Now, Coley does still have an evolution point on his side. Still has that extra tool. The Andrealphus coming out onto the field as well as a Lady Grey Deathweaver. Again, going wide. Is he going to play a 3-drop as well? Does choose to, or thinks about it.
Yeah, I
He
wonder
thinks
if
about
it's
it.
worth playing the Fran here or just saving it for the value on the turn 7. Play just the Singer here now.
He's going back and forth. He doesn't know what to do. He's unsure. He does choose to play the frame monster girl onto the field, getting Friends Curse.
Looks like he values the tempo here, just trying to prevent Chaldea from doing anything too explosive. But this is going into his Lancer of the Tempest, which will be able to clear 2 threats here.
For free, 2 threats for nothing.
Yeah. You can clear the entire board if he wants to. Just run the Lancer of the Tempest.
Or
you can just do
Night
this.
King, it also works. He's just like, no, I need to get that Heaven Knight out of the way. Let's play the other Night King and get some beefy stuff on the field. Use the Collins trade into the Lady Grand Get
he
rid
still
of that.
has-
Evolves the Servant of Usurpation, which brings it up to a 3-3. And then 4-4 trading through to the other Lady Great and taking it out as well.
That's really good. I mean, you got a bunch of cards out of your deck. You have a board, and Demon doesn't really have a way to answer this right now.
So Gilney's Omen of Craving onto the field. Not too much else really could have done there.
Not a great Gilney's to have.
It's better than nothing, but
There's
it's
the
still
Arcus,
not
but a
ideal.
little late.
Bit unfortunate here. Coldier in a very good spot, drawing that Sky Commander Celio. What does he play? Does he just, like, you know, go hard?
I mean, Chaldea's in a pretty good position. I don't know if he can do anything to losing play. He could just play Dragon Knights, get the Siegfried out, Lancelot out, and just go ham on the face. Just get that ward up to prevent any potential
Just
blowout.
in case any spicy tools.
He can also just play Latham. He's in a really favorable position to just land the Latham. Dragon Knights is always going to be good, but Latham is...
Latham's
you have to
consistent.
find the spot.
Yeah, I think Latham's the right play here because it does give him that consistency. Does start guaranteeing this wider board nice and easily.
It also makes
Deal with it.
his Dragon Knights better as Celia as well.
Big boy comes on the field, brings out that knight as well. Everything goes for face because he can't target anything else. Not the most useful of draws.
And not a great position for Bima here.
Is this going to be Beamer traveling straight into the loser's bracket? Coldier with a potential 3-0 clean sweep, doing 9 points worth of damage in that one turn alone, and is staring down very much lethal.
Yeah, very much lethal.
Very much lethal.
Well, he has to clear this somehow, and I don't see any answers in Bima's hand.
17 damage on the board before any kinds of effects are applied.
Oof.
That's a oof and a half.
Yeah, and we got the Dragon Knights in hand. We got Gilded Necklaces, Celia's.
Beamer back in esports mode. Thinking about it.
That's right. Now I see it. Everyone knows that when you enter esports pose, your brain power increases tenfold.
Tenfold. That's a fact. Quote that, chat. If you're in Twitch, clip that immediately. What? It's a fact.
Never hold me accountable to anything I say.
Oh, too late. Clip that man. Hold that fact's true. Beamer has a lot to think about here. There's so much staring him down. He's almost out of time. Maybe spent perhaps too long thinking here.
Just got to play the Gilnelese, try and get this buff so that he can get more.
Just clear as much as he can. It's all you can do.
Just clearing the Servant here.
Gets a Gremory out of it.
Yeah, I think Bima was kind of unfortunate on the draws here. Didn't get the Gremories on time.
No,
Didn't get a
not.
Cerberus this game.
This is going to be big oof. There's 8.
And then it's going to be just Celia for lethal, I imagine.
Yeah.
Run this all in, and then Celia.
Celia for lethal would be the way to go. And we see this Celia there playing Despair's Messenger, putting all those into hand, giving him a Storm. Beamer unfortunately going to be cleaned out here with a clean sweep. 3-0 to Coldier from Singapore, progressing into the winners finals. But it is not over for Beamer yet.
That's right. This is
His
double
journey is not
elimination.
done. He could run it back.
That's right. He's going to go into the loser's bracket. He still could make it all the way to the grand final. We don't know the story yet, but man, what a convincing win from Chaldea there. 3-0 in our first series.
Cleaned it out, but none of those games were short.
No, they were
all
not.
All those games were long games, took a lot of thought, and a lot of prediction, I feel.
That's right.
Both players really trying to out-predict each other, and you can see it in their plays. See, both players are playing relatively defensively, except in that game, kind of like, Coldier was just like, let's go hard.
Yeah, let's just go face because, you know, we can, and that's fine. But I think that in terms of play, both players played exceedingly well there, making really smart decisions all around. But ended up being Chaldea, who had a bit of skill, like he said, a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and some moxie, and it got him through.
Some moxie. I mean, moxie's important, man. You gotta have that moxie.
That's right.
Come on over, you amazing man.
Speaking of the man himself,
Talk
here
to
he
us.
comes.
Hugging distance.
Chaldea, how do you feel, man? You just won against Bima, the top points earner in SEAO.
Really, really happy.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I would crush it one-sidedly, but
You said a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Yeah, there's a lot of luck involved.
You did it,
I
man.
think.
3-0 as well.
Draw my Azida.
Yeah, I bet you were quite happy, you know. Sending you my energy there, you know, my Dragoncraft main energy. You got the Azidahaka off the top. But how do you, like, so against Bima there, that lineup, how are you feeling, like, confidence-wise against what he had, against what you had, when you were actually in the game?
How do I feel confidence?
Yeah, like...
Yes.
I feel that I may just be able to make it to the World Grand Prix.
Might have it in him after all.
That's right.
Little Cody that could, and has done so.
Yeah, you were so humble at the beginning, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to win. Now you're like, I'm going to go to the World Grand Prix.
Just took
That's what I like. One game.
A little bit of motivation, a bit of kick in the rear.
That's right.
Right in the rear, get it in there, and then ready to go. Full of gas.
Now, you're the only player who brought Dragoncraft. And are you pretty happy with that decision now, or?
Yes, because I expected a lot of players to bring Shadow, although only Bima. Regardless, I still felt that Dragon is really good against craft like Sword in certain situations.
Right, because of Galmu being able to clear and also do a lot of burn damage as well.
Yeah.
That's right.
So winners final, you have you're going to be playing against either Shen or Dreamlife here. What are your thoughts going into that matchup?
Are you more comfortable against Shen's Forest Craft or Dreamlife's more traditional lineup?
I've tried Shen's Forest Craft and it's really good. So
yeah?
That's what I'm afraid of, to be honest.
Oh really?
Because he's a Forest main as well as Shen is. Yeah.
Yes, he is. It's the one he knows best.
And because there's hardly anyone who plays Forest on the ladder, it's very hard to get used to Forest.
Right, it's hard to practice against it, you say.
That's true.
So Shen could bamboozle everybody with this lineup here. All right. So hopefully, well, you're going to definitely face off against one of them. So you're hoping you're not facing off against Shen next round.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it turns out. Thanks so much, man, for coming on.
Thank you.
Good luck in the rest of it. Give me a hand. Caldia doing well.
That's right. Let's get a round of applause for Caldia.
Well done to that amazing man. Does well. Gets through pretty convincingly. It's in a Beamer to losers.
Yeah, Bima, he was coming in with a lot of bluster, a lot of confidence, and he's still in it. He's still got game. Yes. Can make it through. Yet
this is a double elimination, don't forget. And it is not a huge tournament. So if you are in double elimination, yes, you will have to do that bracket reset at the end, but you don't have a huge amount of extra matches you need to win. Normally with a double elimination tournament, you got to run the gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
Not this time around.
Although, you still got to run the gauntlet, but in a different way. Not in terms of the number of games, but in terms of the quality of skill of the players you're up against. Again, these 4 players here, they qualify here, and they all deserve to be here. Caldia through that wildcard tournament, Bima and Dreamlife through points, and Razor Shen from the World Circuit event in Singapore. So they all did tournaments just to qualify to this event. So even though it's less games, it's still going to be a gauntlet regardless.
They're all stellar games. Not to mention, one extra game of fatigue is one extra game of fatigue, right?
Yeah.
So it is going to wear. He's going to have to play the maximum amount of games required to win. It's a lot. So Beamer's life is not going to be easy, but not out of the woods.
We've always known him as a guy who's ready to take on the challenges and make it to the top. So maybe this is just what he needed, A little kick in the confidence, get back down to lose his racket.
Make him a bit humble.
Make him a bit humble, and then now he's going to put his nose to the dirt, nose to the grindstone.
Just swap roles a little bit. You find Beamer become more humble now, and Cold is like, no, I got this.
Caldia's coming out here like, I'm going to make it though.
Where's my check? Where's my check? Man is ready to go. But again, well done. I really like to see some of those players come out. Azidahaka is just like, even here, the crowd here, because we do have quite a considerable amount of people sitting around watching the tournament, people standing behind, watching and enjoying here at GameStart Asia in Suntec Convention in Singapore. People popped off when the Aussie was drawn. I was like, ooh. Like,
I mean, I popped off when the Aussie was drawn.
You did pop off. That is a fact.
I was quite happy.
Something you did. It came through from there and in here. I had to hear you like double pop off.
Yeah, you enjoyed it?
No.
Oh. Well, I don't care what you enjoy, right?
Fine.
It's my time.
That's the right answer. It's your time. You own this moment.
Yeah, that's right. Well, not me. The players own this moment.
That is very
that
true.
Azidahaka owned that moment in particular.
Or it did in particular. Any other particular plays you liked from that set?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just really like the way, even though BMA lost 0-3, I think he played the games exceedingly well. Like the Swordcraft against the Dragoncraft match, where he was careful to play the exact followers, not to proc any potential Galmu off the top, making sure that if he did play a Galmu, the enhance effect would clear any 1 defense followers, and any trades after that wouldn't proc Galmu's additional evolve effect. I think that was really smart, like getting, for example, the Percival instead of the Lancelot to do extra damage, just because if he had the Lancelot, Galmu could come in with a removal and hit
and just
over
whoop,
the Lancelot.
see you later, exactly.
So it's really quite interesting to see how these players maximize their outs and it's evidence of Bima's skill.
All right, on that note, seen some amazing games. We have more coming. Let's cut over to Z back at the stage with our next 2 contenders.
That's right, I am here with the remaining 2 contenders here at the SEAO Contenders Cup. And it is absolutely freezing. Someone was asking me, why are you wearing this silly jacket? It is absolutely freezing. I see that Dreamlife, you are shivering right now. Xian, you did not even bring a jacket or a hoodie today. You must be freezing. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling really cold.
Super cold. I see that you've got the chicken skin. Do you think that these frozen temperatures are going to affect your gameplay?
Maybe not.
Well, we certainly could use the warmth of your fans and your supporters out here in lovely Singapore to warm you up. Hopefully you're not frozen beyond physical repair. And you, sir, very smart. You brought the hoodie. Dreamlife, how are you feeling going into this match?
Feel nervous, nervous, and yeah, just do our best performance for this match.
Despite the nervousness, I like your hoodie. It says, never say never. Do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you can win against Xian and then go further in the tournament?
Yeah, I will try my best and go further for this tournament.
All right, it's the person with the hoodie, Warm, and Xian using the warmth and the love of his family and his friends out here in this next match. We've got Malaysia versus Singapore. Gentlemen, please, to your booths, please. And good luck to both of you. And we're going to take it back to the casters and get some breakdown on what they expect in this next matchup coming up. Back to you guys.
And like you said, we're going to take a look at the decks that they're playing here. Razor Shen versus Dreamlife. Razor Shen qualifying again through that World Circuit event in Singapore.
Yes.
And Dreamlife qualifying as second place on the leaderboard in terms of points. Let's see what they're bringing.
Both strong players, Singapore versus Malaysia. Let's take a look at his deck lists and see exactly what they are bringing to the table. Now, we have mentioned before we go into that, as they load them up, Razor bringing 5. Let's look at Dreamlife's decks first.
Runecraft. Wow. Dreamlife bringing Runecraft, except not running the ever-popular Swordcraft that a lot of other players are bringing here.
He has elected to skip it to run Rune, Blood, and Shadow. My favorite card. My favorite card.
Yeah.
Truth's Adjudication.
Yeah, you love rolling dice,
RNG, the card.
Because you are blessed RNG after
on brand
all.
for me. It's my favorite card.
Now, this is an interesting list because I feel like a lot of people on ladder are running these Mysteria Runecraft decks with the new cards like Anne and Miranda, for example. But Dreamlife opted to play a deck that he's comfortable with. I talked with him before the tournament started. He said he's comfortable with Giant Chimera because he knows how to play this deck. He knows that it's good. He knows exactly how to win with it. And hopefully he's going to prove it to all of us here today. So if you guys didn't know, Giant Chimera Runecraft is based around playing a lot of spells to get spell boost counter on your Giant Chimera up. Yes. And the more Giant Chimera is spell boosted, the more damage it'll do, and it'll deal damage to your entire board and then your face in that order. So the higher you go, the more you can clear, and the more damage you can deal to the enemy leader as well.
Giant Chimera is also always scary to play against Giant Chimera because you have to always assume it's in there, and you know at some point your board's just going to get whomped. If you've not got a wide board, you know your lead is just going to take that damage direct. Always have to be worried about that. Always going to keep an eye on, is Chimera going to come down? How close are we to turn 9?
It's a really interesting bring, right, Giant Chimera Runecraft, because in a lot of cases, it gets its win condition online slower than Dark Feast Bat does.
Yes.
Now, Dark Feast Bat comes out turn 7, Giant Chimera turn 9. But you have to win with all your decks regardless. So maybe after the Bloodcraft deck of theirs is done, then you bring out the Runecraft and you can deal with all these board-based strategies with all your removal that you have in this deck.
He's brought Blood and Rune, so you're going to be playing both of those kind of strats. Just get through on both. I mean, you know, they're not the same, but they both have the same kind of execution towards the end in a matter of how they play.
That's
so,
right.
You know, again, he's comfortable with it. No harm in playing what's comfortable with. Only person to bring Runecraft. I can respect it. I like truths, so I can respect that even more. So I got his back to go into the next deck here on Dreamlife's side, which is a Bloodcraft deck.
And it is exactly the same as the ones that we saw in the last game here. Again, very powerful, very consistent, and I think a lot of people agree that this is the best build of this deck. Again, 2 Valorix, 2 Floros, 1 Alexandra Demon, and 2 Scorpius.
Pretty standard across the board here. Again, we've seen it played by both other competitors. We're seeing it here once again. There's not too much else to add that we haven't added already. Just get Dark Beast spin out, hit for lots of damage, or get it a little bit out and play 2 of them, hit for double damage, and just hit them hard, take the game.
I think that last series was a really good demonstration of how this deck works as well.
There's not a whole lot more else to really add, apart from what we haven't already covered about Glove. If you've seen it before, you're going to see it again. You're going to see it a lot this tournament. Let's go straight into the Shadowcraft deck, though, as Dreamlife is our other Shadowcraft player.
Now, Dreamlife's Shadowcraft deck list is quite a bit different than what Bima brought on.
Yes, looking at the Shadowcraft decks, we've got it here on our own end as well. Have that coming up in just a moment, but it's always good to see more than one player playing it. And here it is here on the board here. 3 happy pigs. He's the happiest man alive.
Yep,
Happy
3 happy
pigs
pigs
everywhere.
Actually,
so happy.
opting not to play Belinus at all.
No Belinus today. He's, like it doesn't go good against, say, Dragoncraft, for example.
Right.
So he's like, maybe he's wary of that. So just chooses to get rid of it. And he's like, nah, I want to be a happy man.
Dreamlife is also sort of a bit more middle of the road in terms of strategies than Bima is. Bima's deck was built pretty much as a mid-range Shadowcraft deck with 1 of Arcus.
Yep.
This time around, Dreamlife sort of splitting the difference here, having 2 Arcuses and 2 Gildan Leases instead, running only 2 Skull Rings, and then also running...
Danua Crim Puppet Master.
Interestingly enough, Danua. Now, Danua isn't a card that a lot of people see a lot of the time. It's a 2-play point 3/1, which has a clash effect of dealing 1 damage to the enemy follower, and it can also evolve to give that same effect to the rest of your allied followers as well. And I was asking him before the tournament started, Dreamlife, what are you doing bringing Danua? Is this the secret anti-forest tech because you know you're going up against Racer Shen? And he said, no, it's just because I like that card.
It's my favorite card.
It's one of my favorite characters, so I run it.
Hey, it gives him courage.
That's right,
Man needs courage. There's $1 million on the line eventually.
That's why I play Zernitra in every deck, because it's my favorite card. You might as well.
That's it. Just play it and be like, I'm going to play my own way. Play my own way.
Even if you don't win, you're happy. Isn't that what life is all about?
That's what Happy Pig's for.
That's true. He is running 3 of those as well. Now, the Happy Pig, I'm glad you brought it up because it's very, very important in this tournament specifically because there's a lot of these decks that try and lethal you exactly, like Dark Feast Bat, for example, even Dreamlife's own Giant Chimera here. If you can just get out of range, oftentimes buying that 1 extra turn is going to win you that game.
That is exactly. Let's go to look at the next deck here from our other player, Razor Shen. Let's see what Shen's bringing to the board.
There it is, the Forestcraft deck. Now, again, like we said, Racer Shen is a forest main, so this is his home turf.
That's it. Fighting on his grounds, going for the King Elephant strats.
Really aggressive deck here, and then running the 2 King Elephants in the top end as a just-in-case kind of situation.
No princes allowed here, just kings.
If you look at the curve, it's not really a curve, is it? It's just... It's 2 very tall spires at the beginning and at the end.
It really is. It's just like, the start of the game, lots of stuff. End of the game,
it's a little bit deceptive as well, because Luxglaive Bale, even though it's listed here as a 7-play point card, the cost of that card reduces every time an ally follower is destroyed while the card is in your hand.
Oh, look, it's Fairy deck.
What Shen wants to do is just flood the board, and if they all get destroyed, your Luxglaive Bale becomes 0 play points, and you flood the board again, you Gildan Lease, and now, interestingly enough, this Gildan Lease into King Elephant strategy is really a spicy tech, because Gildan Lease has that secondary effect that not a lot of people pay attention to, that it draws both players 5 cards when it's the 10th turn or later.
Yeah.
So if you draw a bunch of cards and then King Elephant, that's a lot of damage. So you're not worried about the hand size, you just spam the board every turn, Gildan Lease, King Elephant, and that's the strategy. Of course,
it's very much Forestcraft plays its own game here.
Yeah, you're hoping you're not going to get to the King Elephant. It's not necessary because you're going to aggro them down with all your early game drops here, but it's just the backup plan.
That's it. It's a safety, but if you get to it, it's spicy. It's good content.
And I think this aggressive style decks, they're actually really quite powerful against decks like Dark Feast Bat, which again damage themselves and help you get there.
And there are definitely other really good cards in its backup. Meta Appealer's Shot, still an incredibly powerful card.
That's right, exactly.
3 of them. So, Forest still has some real good tech.
It's underrated, man. I really believe so. I think people...
You've been saying that all day. You've been saying, Forestcrafted, sleeper hit.
That's the secret of Forestcraft mains. You just say that you're bad, and then you just sneakily beat everyone.
Wow. I don't think Shen's ever said he's bad. He said he's cold.
I'm calling out all the other Forestcraft mains out there.
Right, okay.
Not
Fair
they're
enough.
bad, but Forestcraft is bad. But it's a lie. Forestcraft is always good.
That's it. Shen plays Forestcraft. That is his craft of choice. So we're looking forward to seeing how he plays that. Let's take a look at his next deck here, the Swordcraft deck that Shen is running. Pretty standard.
It's a little different than the ones we've seen so far. He's running one Gilnelly's Omen of Craving here.
That is true. That's not common.
That's right. And looks like he's cut Zeta entirely.
There is no Zetas in there at all. No,
not
a one.
finding them necessary. Now, Zeta usually is pretty good for running into threats without having to evolve, specifically stuff like Vera or, you know, other big threats like that, Floros, etc. But not finding that necessary, just saying, look, I'm just going to focus on the board, trying to get on board as fast as possible. Instead of running 2 Zetas, he's running 1 more Frontline Cavalier and 1 more Gilnelly's, and hopefully that'll carry him through the game. Now, the Gilnelly's, again, very powerful in buffing your entire board, so it looks like Shen is going for this whole board-based strategy overall here.
Just make everything wide. How wide can we make every single deck that we have?
That's right.
Go wide, but not necessarily boards that are, you know, generally known for it.
Although, his last deck here doesn't necessarily go follow that same game plan.
That is very, very
because
true.
Razor Shen's Blood deck here, Bloodcraft, yet again, I think every player here is bringing Bloodcraft.
Yes. Well, well, that's it. These are the 4 players. Every player has brought it. Every player has brought Bloodcraft. Every player has bought Swordcraft.
That's
it's
right.
that third deck.
Except Dreamlife didn't.
That's
bring
true.
Swordcraft.
Yeah, Dreamcraft did not bring it. That is a very valid point.
But let's bring up
My
Shen's
bad.
Bloodcraft deck here just to see if there's any differences between his list and the other list that we have going on. I believe there was last time I checked.
I believe there was a small
few key
difference there because everyone else, I believe, ran the same one, and then
Right.
Shen's is, you know, ever so easy to bring that Shen tech in, that unknown Razor tech.
But still mostly the same, I think.
Well, with Dark-Based Bat, that's the same. It's always the same goal, right? You know,
That's right.
Hurt yourself a little bit, and then Bat gets mad. Play Bat. Bat unleashes fury.
Yeah,
Easy game.
It's a very
Easy
consistent
clap.
game plan. It's a very easy clap.
Easy clap.
It's you can't just say that and then not clap.
You also said it and didn't clap.
That's true. You're right.
We
I was just trying to impose standards on you.
I
that
know
don't
you. I
have to.
choose not to reject your reality and I place it on my own.
But yeah, there you go. I mean, Forestcraft, Swordcraft, Bloodcraft. Again, the key player, I think, in Shen's lineup here is going to be that Forestcraft deck.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But, you know, the thing is, you know, he plays it a lot. And we've talked to Shen in the past. He's like, yep, I play Forestcraft basically exclusively.
That's the
and
thing.
the other decks I play are more or less, you know, decks that are popular with a little bit of a twist to them.
Yeah, he says that, but you'd expect him to just get the most standard build, but he's actually changing up his other decks as well, maybe even more than the other players.
Well,
so
it might have been because you know, he qualified in the Shadowverse World Circuit in Singapore. Well, he didn't necessarily win the tournament because that was taken by Mr. Mist. Mr. Mist, rather. He did qualify anyway because he was the highest placing person in our region. He came third. Might have realized, wait a second, I could win $1 million.
Yeah.
I should play this a lot more and start taking this, like, you know, he already played a lot, but start experimenting with other crafts and being significantly more, like, involved in Shadowverse.
Speaking of, we can see him shuffling his notes now, looking at the deck lists, making sure that he's got everything down pat. And that's the mark of an invested player right there.
That's it. He's keen to go. Hope we get that Bloodcraft deck up nice and soon to show you what else he's bringing. Here it is. What are the differences?
That's the difference there. He's running 1 less Scorpius and 1 more Alexandrite Demon.
Yes. So
very small change.
But it is a change.
That's right, because if you run more Alexandrites, that means you're a little bit more worried about your draw. Because you want to run the Alexandrite for the Sapphire, and then you get the draw off of that amulet that you generate. And maybe Shen's played a couple of games with this deck and realized, I just need a bit more fuel.
It's a bit slow, yeah, that's what he's thinking. A bit more fuel, get a bit more cards, a bit more opportunities to, you know, potentially. With more cards, more likely to be able to pull Floros, right? Or rather, not pull Floros, but like technically also pull Floros.
And draw your Dark Beast Bat as well.
That is it. Of course, drawing Floros is never what you want to do. It is it's a draw you kind of like, well, it's not a bad card to play, but there are definitely you would rather use the Invocation ability to get it out instead of just that draw skill.
That's right, that's right. We see Razor Shen here with his Razor Hammerhead earphones.
That's it.
I want to thank our sponsor, Razor here, the official gaming phone of GameStart Asia 2018. And again, the players are using these Razor Hammerheads with white noise and listening to the game noise to make sure that they can't hear anything.
Good on him. That's it. The advantage now, standing in home turf.
That's right, because he's Razor Shen, isn't he?
He's like, I brought my own.
Yeah,
I'm good to
right.
go. So that's ready to go. So this is going to be a big match here. Again, this is the second match of the day. This is just winners, semifinals.
That's right.
Singapore versus Malaysia. Razor Shen versus Dreamlife at DL.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts now of single decks?
I'm really interested to see how this Forest Craft goes. I'm really confident that Xian knows what he's doing. And hearing Chaldea's testimony of how strong this deck could be, I'm interested to see if it's really got the firepower that everyone claims it does.
And is it? But you know, Dreamlife is also coming to this with a strong selection. He's coming with Runecraft.
That's right.
So he has also brought something a little bit
Again,
different.
like you said, some players brought their favorite decks they're the most comfortable with instead of the decks that a lot of people agree are the strongest. Sometimes a little personal flair gets your enemy off their toes, and that's what will win you the game.
That's it. And if you play it first, win gets you in the zone, right?
That's right.
Get in that zone, get ready to, you know, take the other games. You want to get that winner's final. Every win you get here,
it's a huge
one step closer to $1 million.
It's a huge energizing boost when you win your first game, right? Because you're like, you have the momentum on your side at that point.
That's exactly it. I mean, it paid off last game, Coldea, with that 3-0 clean sweep over Beamer. Beamer, who's, you know, favored to win this.
That's right. Well, we'll see how things work out now. Who's your favorite to win here, Xian versus Dreamlife?
It's a tough choice, actually. I think I want Dreamlife to do well solely because I like that Runecraft deck. I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
but
it's very good.
I also love that Forestcraft deck. But if you're going to back a boy Xian, I'm going to back Dreamlife here. Let's keep it down the middle.
All right.
Keep it down the middle of the line.
Don't stack the caster's curse
That's
on one
it.
person.
Now they're both
right?
cursed. They're equally cursed.
Now they're equally cursed, so it's even.
They've both had the cursed Frogurt.
Yeah.
It's
Wait, what?
bad for everyone.
It's a Frogurt?
Yes.
I want to get some.
Watch more 90s television. Get older, Igni. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I'll just go back in
Can't take
time
this
and
man anyway.
become
Back in
older.
the hyperbolic time chamber. Which only sends you forward in time, is really, really slow. That's okay. We're going to get this game very, very shortly. But, you know, again, I want to see Dreamlife take it.
Yeah.
But I'll be happy either way. For me, as I always say, as long as you get some good Shadowverse, what more could you ask for?
And that's the thing. The people are equally cheering for Xian and Dreamlife. Again, Xian, Racer Xian, known in the fighting game community, Street Fighter player. But Dreamlife also known in a lot of different Asian communities here. He's got roots everywhere.
That is both well known in their own way. Let's get into the game here. Cutting through. Dreamlife at DL versus Razor Shen. Game 1, you're going to see Blood versus Shadow.
Here we go.
Alrighty. His initial draws. We're going to see that Flores get ditched immediately. Don't want
Yeah,
that.
there's no way you
Zulite-
keep that.
He's not keeping that. No way. Not happening.
I find it interesting that Xian is queuing up the Bloodcraft first. We've seen in the last series that they were queuing up Bloodcraft a little later on in the series, but this time
He
around...
just wants it done, maybe. He just
That's
wants, you know,
right.
like, just get it through, hope they play what they're comfortable with at the start, and just go for the power play, get it done, get it out of the way, and go to the next one.
Yeah, toss that Floros.
See you later, buddy. Ooh, Razor Claw in turn. I'm okay with that. More of that self-damage. Get that Floros out faster. To trade a Floros for a condition to activate Floros, good trade.
All right.
He's keeping.
Ooh, good
the
draw
one
off
drop.
the top. Disciple of Lust. Now this is going to make it quite a bit easier to maybe proc Floros turn 2
Getting
or
that
3.
early on is exactly what you want.
He just needs to draw Parish.
That's it. If he draws Paris, then he's easy, he's good to go. Mischievous Spirit in turn from Dreamlife, though. That counter 1-drop. We got ourselves a game. It's a match.
Oh.
Gift for Bloodkin, another 0 cost.
So it's not quite there. If he had like a Gift of Bloodkin and a Floro and a Parish here, he would have been able to get the Floros out this turn, but...
It's incredibly hard to get Floros turn 2, but if you do, it is such a hard thing to
it's
respond
tough to come back against,
Yeah, it's like,
right?
what do you do? It's like it's a 5-3 staring you down at turn 2.
Especially a Shadowcraft where you don't have stuff like usurping Spine Blade or Octress. but-
Because a Spine Blade should be like, done, don't worry about it. But, you know, this is a little bit harder. That is 2 self-damages there. Chooses not to play the Gift for Bloodkin, but he's
Into the face.
already 3 damages on that Dark Beast bat.
Oh, and Dreamlife has drawn his Arcus here, so it looks like his game plan here is going to try and get to that Arcus and get the Fairy combo out.
Got it ready, good to go. Fairy Spirit Maiden coming onto the field. As we enter to go into Razor Shen's turn here.
Yeah, this is best 2-drop here right now, contest against the 4-2. You can't stall against this 4-2 being able... Because when that 4-2 connects to your face, it actually restores defense to the Bloodcraft as well, and that's the last thing you want to do.
No, you do not want that. You do not want Shen getting health back. It's more health he can use to get Dark Beast bats out for stronger and also just keep that self-sustain alive.
That's right.
Alexandrite Demon look like he's going to be coming onto the field here.
That's the thing, you know. I think some newer players especially, are a bit concerned about their defense total, but you have to think about it as your defense total is a resource like anything else. You have to use it to your advantage. And now Shen healing up with that Servant of Lust being able to restore defense to himself, now he has more resources to be able to get that Dark Beast bat proc higher.
Which is exactly what you want, especially in this game. Dreamlife here just thinking this through. Drawing another Fairy Spirit Maiden as his draw for the turn.
He could just trade the 2-2 into the 4-2 and then play the Andreal first. Not sure how impactful that would be, but the next turn, you definitely want to save the Lady Grey for the Evolve turn next turn, so maybe that's the play.
Tough choice here.
Alternatively, he could play Lyria to get the trade on the 2-1, but
I'm trying to feel about the Lyria play.
Yeah, a lot of the time you play the Lyria to draw your Gilnelis on time, because the Lyria Enhance 8 restores 7 play points. So you get to play the Lyria on 8 and then play Gilnelis right away.
The double whammy.
It's one of those synergies that, originally Lyria was designed around Proto Bahamut, but because it pulls neutral cards at cost 7 or more, it works with that Gilnelis.
So you just, use it for other things as well. Extra value, just keeps it going. Trades through that Sentinel, takes that out, plays Lyria, Azure Maiden. Next time damage is dealt to that follower, it's reduced it to 0, so it gets a shield of sorts.
He does play the Lyria here because it plays better around stuff like Snarling Chains, and it still trades evenly into the Alexandrite.
Alrighty, so we've got the Blazing Sapphire on the field here. He did draw that Parish also, and raises Shen's side.
Looks like it's going to be a pretty late Floros at this point in the game. Maybe next turn he can figure out a way to Vera. One of the ways you can proc Floros is to wait for the Blazing Sapphire's last words effects to go off, because that counts as being on your turn.
Yep.
So once it goes off, then you can count that as 1, and you only need 3 procs after that.
And then you get the Floros, and it's a lot, 25% of the work done for you. Quarter of the work done, can't complain about that at all. But, Shen just thinking this through, taking his time. No harm in this. Has to win with all of these decks. Remember, this is a no-ban format. First to 3.
Now, what is he going to do here, though? Is he really going to spend one of his Evil Eyes on this Lyria? I doubt it.
It's expensive to do. I wouldn't think so.
Just face
just
and
SM walk for 2. I mean, Dreamland's already down to 14.
Maybe just ignore it, Just Razor Claw his face and then pass.
Go for damage. That's it. I mean, at this point, down to 11 now, you just go aggro. Just SM walk your way through.
But
if you get to a Dark Beast bat now, it is not going to need to proc nearly as many times.
That's true. But Dreamlife does have some defensive tools here, namely the Lady Grey on the Evolve. Again, Lady Grey has Drain, meaning that if he runs Lady Grey into this Alexandrite Demon, he will restore 3 defense here, putting him out of range. And
Just
again,
basically removes or negates that Razor Claw.
Dreamlife is also playing 3 Happy Pigs, which might put him out of range of Dark Beast bat. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Dreamlife does have defensive tools to keep him in.
Very, very true. What are you going to do, though? What is the play? What is Dreamlife's option to respond against this? What to choose to go with? As Shen continues to stare him down with a 7 defense point advantage at the moment. Clearly, he just needs to play Happy Picks.
Yeah,
He hasn't got a hand, but, just play a million of them.
I think Dreamlife is just taking his time to think through the turn. I think Lady Grey Evolve is almost guaranteed.
That's exactly what we're going to see here. Lady Grey Death on the field, evolving that, bringing it into a 3-5 with Drain, can attack immediately. Likely to trade on the Alexandrite Demon. Also bringing back the Fairy Spirit Maiden, the health back, the extra board, 1 damage for good measure. And Drealvis on the field also could potentially evolve it next turn if it sticks around to give everything that last word draw back that's in hand.
A lot of the time, these players take their time on their turns to fully think through several turns ahead. I think that's what we saw there with Dreamlife there. The Lady Grey play was pretty clear, but he just wanted to make sure that he knows the outs that Razor Shen's going to bring out and how to play around that when it does come out.
Knowing your opponent is half the battle indeed. As we go into Shen's turn 5, has drawn a Floros.
He could just play the
not great
Evil Eye Demon plus Perish and then clear everything. Seems like the most clean play to me.
It's a pretty wide board staring him down now, and I can respect that play. I mean, it makes sense.
He doesn't even need to play the Perish, so it's good this way, because now you can save the Perish for the next turn. Hopefully you get another proc, and then you can get the Floros out. He's already drawn 1, but he still has 1 in the deck. So you do it this way, and then now all you need is 1 more self-damaging effect the turn after to get the Floros out on your turn 6 or 3.
Not particularly hard.
He just needs to draw 1.
Just draw 1, that's it. Imagine the turn line here going into Dreamlife's turn, drawing another Lady Grey Death Whipper. So he can give himself more self-sustain, could evolve it over the 5-3, would lose it, but would get that drain effect and would get 3 more defense points back, putting him further out of the range of that Dark Beast bat.
What's the alternative? You play the Lady Grey, you play Mischievous Spirit, you play the Trot's Curse on the Ghost on the 5-3, you have 3 bodies on board. I think I like that a little better.
It's definitely a wider option, you don't lose stuff.
But you're running out of fuel real fast. You only got the Arcus in hand, but not much to go off it as well. And you're using the Trot's Curse here, that's yet again more stuff that you're using up. So it's interesting, does Dreamlife really value getting as much tempo as possible here after seeing already 1 Evil Eye on the field? Or does he want to play it a little bit safer, play a bit slower, try and get to that Arcus and draw more resources over time?
There's no possible way for Dreamlife to know if there's a second Evil Eye Demon in hand or not, because it was played on curve. So there's not a whole lot of information that has been revealed to Dreamlife at this point in time. Got to be thinking maybe because their hand's still kind of large that maybe he has got a lot of self-damaging things in hand, maybe Dark Beast bats in hand. hard to say. Does play as Lady Grey Death Weaver, goes for the Evolve, make it 3-5 with Drain and Rush. Likely to trade in this 5-3 Evil Eye Demon here. Does so, gets that 3 defense point back once again, bringing it back to 17, an even game.
Now, does he want to play the Fairy and the Mischievous Spirit here? Looks like it. Saving the Spirit for the Arcus, I can respect that. Now,
Spirit Maidens for days.
The Mischievous Spirit with Arcus is quite powerful because that's 2 ghosts for 1 play point, and that's a lot of damage.
Did not draw a self-damage, but did draw the ability to draw a card.
Yeah, and that could draw him in the ability
could
to
draw,
self-damage,
it could draw him what he needs.
But it's kind of a gamble at this point in the game. Maybe you don't even go for it. Maybe you just go a bit safer.
Oh,
Looks like he's going for it.
He goes for it.
There you go.
It pays off, gets a Snarling Chains.
So you Snarling Chains a 2-2, you play Gift of Bloodkin, you play Perish, you get a Floros.
Bats everywhere, it's just a cacophony of bats.
I imagine you evolve the Floros over the 2-2.
Yeah, well, makes sense. And then you also get that extra heal. Make it a last word 5 heal instead of last word 3 heal. There ain't no last word stealing in this opponent's deck.
Using up all your evolution points here, though, not getting the chance to evolve the Vera in your hand or the Floros there. But I think it might be worth it.
The 7-5 is still annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, it's big, you have to respond to it. And can Dreamlife do so?
Oh, he can because he has the Trot's Curse in hand. But again, if he uses that, he's out of resources.
That's it. Does Shen decide to go for the power play here and go, no, I reckon I can exhaust Dreamlife out and just buy a bit more time, get that Dark, because he hasn't got Dark Beast Bat in hand yet. Just to evolve the Pure-Hearted Singer instead.
Evolving the Singer, spreading the threat. It's spreading the threat out a little bit, you know, because Shen knows that Dreamlife runs 1 Trot's Curse. He doesn't want to go all in on 1 follower.
I can respect that, and you know, go for just make sure you make your board wide, make it strong across the board, make it hard to deal with. Make it so you have to use a board clear instead, and they're generally a bit harder to come by compared to the single target clears.
I think you play the Fran here, because you don't want to be playing Fran for 7 anyway, because you're going to be playing Arcus on 7. But, you know, playing Fran before your Arcus isn't something that's potentially what you want to be doing, but you're kind of really behind on the board at this point. What else do you do?
What else do you do? It's just like, not too sure.
He still does have the Evolve, so he can play Arcus Evolve on that turn, so it's not just a dead turn, essentially. So that's what he's saving the Evolve point for, all the way to turn 7.
Last thing you want is a dead turn at this point in the game. It's very punishing to do. Does play the Fran Monster Girl, choosing to get the Fran's Attendant here. The Troth, Curse, of course. Taking out that Floros, as you predicted, gives 3 health to Razor Shen, though. Vicious Spirit on the field, bringing out that Ghost also. And then there is the Fran's Attendant.
Clearing the board here and having a pretty good run in return, but again, this Arcus is coming down. There's not a lot of fuel off the top. He needs to helpfully draw his draws, his Andreophis potential.
Evil Eye Demon, unfortunately, no more arrows on Shen. They're not going to do a whole lot. Wow, just SM walking the bat.
Evolving with a bat and going face instead of evolving the Arcus against a potential threat. Interesting. Oh, there's a bat in.
There's the potential threat. So he has gotten the bat in time, but it's not going to be nearly enough damage yet.
Not yet.
Not even close.
Well, let's see what he can do this turn then. So he can play the Valmric on the 3-3. He can play Vera, and then he can play Evil Eye Demon on the 5-1, leaving the Dreamlife with just a 1-1, and then you just run the 2-4 Storm into Dreamlife's face because Valmric gets that +1/+1.
True.
And then on that turn it buffs again because you self-damage yourself with the Evil Eye Demon, so it becomes a 3-5.
Shen's going to be thinking also only 1 card in Dreamlife's hand. Not a lot to work with.
Yup. And how is Dreamlife going to answer this now? Because now he has a big body on the board, which can help him deal more damage leading up to the next turn, which is going to be a gift for Bloodkin. Dark Feast back.
On the field also. Unable to evolve it. Still get the fan specials to 2-2.
This one goes face, I think.
I assume so. Depends how cautious is Shen going to be.
There's no way. There's no out for a 1-1 with Dreamlife's hand. And Dreamlife only has 1 card, so I think this 2-4 goes face.
Shen just thinking, is there a way that he can make that 1-1 useful based on the amount of cards available and the 1 card he could draw?
That's right. Might as well think through it, right?
Think through until that red circle is done. Goes
and
for face.
So it looks like Shen goes for the play that I just lined out there.
Turn 7 here on Dreamlife's side.
There's a 3-5, and what are you going to do about that? And this is why I was a bit uncertain about Dreamlife spending that evolve point on that bat.
Because now what?
Now he doesn't have a response. He can't play Arcus and evolve it into the 3-5, for example.
I feel like they're very greedy. That was a very, like, for 2 defense worth of greed was insane.
And imagine this. Now if he had an evolve point, he could have played the Gilnelis, evolved it, restored 5 defense because Gilnelis has Drain, cleared a 3-5, and run the Ghost into the 2-2 if he really wanted to. Full clear with 5 defense, or with a 5 defense heal, and but he wasted it on a +2/+2 on a forest bat. It's interesting decision making.
Would have also made, you know, Shen's Dark Beast bat condition so much further away.
Right,
Is
exactly.
not a small
18
amount at all.
defenses.
18 defense, especially when, you know, it's down to 11. Down to 11, and, you know, but he still has a Flores in hand. Shen will likely play that next turn.
It's interesting. Of course, we didn't know that Dream Life would draw the Gilman but, you know, it was always an out. And in this way, evolving the bat, when he was very far from lethal on his own regardless, I'm not sure if I agree with that decision.
Definitely, again, the greed was there, and I can respect it, but perhaps not what was needed at this point in time. Shen thinking his turn through while waiting for Dream Life to take his.
But of course, we have the advantage of perfect caster vision.
That is
right?
it.
In Dream Life's perspective, maybe that was the correct play.
Gets him for the 1-1. Out comes the Arcus Ghost Gloom Manager. Ghost time, here we go.
Here we go. This 3-5 is going to face, then 2-2 is going to face, then Gift Bloodkin, Dark Beast, Bat.
Out comes the Blood Pact also. This is the time. He's like, nah, I reckon we're just going to go for this. Gonna go for this.
And, oh, exactly
that is lethal. That is it. He goes for 1 extra for measure.
Yep.
Dark Beast Bat onto the field. Shen's Bloodcraft going to go through here.
There you go.
First game comfortably to Razor Shen. 2 to go for that man to get through to winners finals.
And you know, he still has that wild card up his sleeve. He's still got that forest deck that we haven't seen, that he's the most comfortable with. So it must be pretty good for Razor Shen to get a win with a deck that he doesn't even main.
That's it, just gets through with the strong Bloodcraft deck. It's done and dusted. Dark Beast Bat is gone for him for this game. Only 2 left to go. I can see it. You should get through, you know, get to the Bloodcraft deck. You know it's there. You know you're going to win with it. Just get it out of the way and done.
Yep.
People say it's quite a favorable deck. Make sure, you know, just get it out of the way. Because there were, you know, potential counterplays against it. Just get it out there, get it done before that happens.
And it worked really well for him. You know, that Blood game was pretty convincing.
That's it. So we will go into our next game pretty shortly. And let's see if DreamUp can take it back, make it 1-1, or is Shen on the track to do a second 3-0 clean sweep of today?
Now, wouldn't that be a sight to see?
We are going to see Swordcraft versus
Oh,
Shadowcraft.
Shen saving the best for last, or what?
Going for that anchor play. I respect it. I respect it.
You ever do that when you were a kid? You had like a plate full of stuff, and then you like ate all the stuff that wasn't your favorite first,
Yeah,
and then
because
you
then
ate
like the
favorite
taste
last.
lingers, right? So
Yeah, because then you remember it better.
you remember it.
That's the
Treasure that
thing.
memory.
That's the real strats here. Shen with the eating the best food for last
Hope you've
strats.
learned something today, chat.
I'm sure everyone can relate.
Everyone can relate.
Everybody did that.
Literally everyone can relate. All right, DreamLife just contemplating what to redraw here. Shen's hand's going to be a certain usurpation of Val's Magical Marksman and an Arthur Night King. Definitely Arthur a bit innate, but it does give him that flexibility of knowing that at turn 7, he will be able to have a very wide board if needed.
Yeah, it's better to have the Arthur in hand than not on turn 7, right? So I think that's what Shen's counting on. Like, look, I can have the draw to get me to turn 7. I just need to make sure I have it on turn 7.
On curve draws, though, for DreamLife. Got a 1, 2, and a 3 drop in the opening hand.
That's right.
Second Arthur from Shen. Definitely probably not what you wanted to see this early on.
I don't think you ever play the Mischievous Spirit, though, because it's playing way too hard into Servant of Usurpation, which DreamLife knows that Shen has 3 of in his deck. So you just pass here, play the Happy Pick the turn after,
You don't
play
have
a
to play a
Fran.
1-drop. Most people don't, so...
And Mischievous Spirit in particular is very good when Arcus has already been played, because again, it's 2 ghosts for 1 play point.
So many ghosts. Ghosts everywhere. So going to turn 2 here. Does he play the Holy Bear Knight or the Servant of Usurpation? Choosing Servant of Usurpation here because it's got that clash effect and he wants to see if he can get some loot early on. Any Gilded Boots are coming real handy.
And it's really good against this deck in particular because if you look at DreamLife's list, his Shadowcraft deck is running a lot of 1-attack followers on turn 2. You got the Andrealphus, you got Mischievous Spirit on 1, Gramarye as well, Andrealphus of course, Lady Grey, and Lyria. So there's a lot of ways that this guy can generate loot over time. So playing the Servant here I think was a better call than the Bear Knight.
And the next turn here from Shen. What's he going to do? Turn 3.
Just trade?
Just trade through the... Makes sense. Trade, get the easy loot.
I think you just play Vaults, right? Play Vaults, Magical Marksman, get the...
Generally get the
Fatal Spell Bomb.
That's normally the play here.
Yeah, for sure.
And there it is. Gets it in hand, so he has a nice safety removal option for later on. Destroying some 3 defense or less.
Yeah, it's pretty good against Lyria too, because it bypasses the defense from Lyria.
That's true, because it's just a destroy effect, so it just takes it out.
That's right, it's not a damage effect, it's a destroy
think about
effect.
it. Just nice and easy. Whoop, see you later. Turn 3 on DreamLife at DL's side. Definitely a lot of cards in hand that can be played.
I think he just played the Fran. Yeah, your Fran.
It's kind of the best play here to make. Like, the other players just aren't really as viable. Doesn't really need the card draw from Andrelphus yet. Literally ain't going to do much.
I think he wants to evolve the Andrelphus next turn.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of cards in hand, and they're all pretty small folders.
Exactly. And we saw in the last game where Dreamlife was running out of fuel real fast, so I think in this game he's going into it thinking, okay, listen, I need to get my draw engine going, or else I'm going to run out of fuel.
Does play the Fran Monster Spell as you expected, gets the Fran's Curse in turn, plays that Curse straight down, take out that Vol's Magical Marksman, and just even the board out. This is a no real chance there for him to take Tempo, so Shen's going to keep this momentum going into the next turn.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unwanted overkill, that play, right? But you don't want Swordcraft to have that snowballing effect that they
Once
can
it starts
often
building,
do.
it's really hard to deal with unless
Exactly.
you have those ball wipes. Not everyone does. Not everyone does. A Cullen drawing from Shen's side. Not particularly useful to him at the moment, but could come in handy later.
You might just play it because you want to save your Celia on 5, but I think
Yeah.
you save it for potentially a way to clear Arcus when that comes out. But
Has
it's up
played
to
the
him.
Holy Bear Knight as just a simple 2-2 with Ward. It's something. It's better than nothing.
I actually didn't hate playing the Cahulan there because otherwise Dreamlife would still have a target up if he evolved over this Bear Knight. But Shen chooses to save it for potential clear on turn 6, so he can have a turn 5 Celia, turn 6 Cahulan, turn 7 Arthur.
Out comes the Andreophis, does evolve it to give all the followers in the last word, draw a card.
And out comes Lyria. Doesn't need it because he already has the Gilman-Lees in hand anyway.
Another Cahulan. Probably need a second one.
It's probably just going to be a Celia Hope's Messenger, I believe.
Yeah, I would say so. A Shield Guardian won't give him an inch.
Yep, go wide, and what's Dreamlife going to do, right? Dreamlife's answers revolve around mainly tall targets. Again, we still
Dreamlife ain't
have
doing much till turn 7 at this
Yeah,
rate.
no kidding.
It's just like a couple of turns of nothing, which is a really, really horrible spot to be in.
I think in this matchup, Dreamlife really just wants to draw his Orthrus Jr. Hellhounds in particular, because that's really good removal for him. But again, overall, it's mostly just single target removal options. Not a lot of things to deal with wide boards, and if Swordcraft can just go wide and snowball from there.
Well, that's it. If he ends up drawing another high cost and having to pass next turn, Shen's going to get a lot of information out of that and just be like, cool, time to go hard. Probably have a turn or two free.
Letting Shen have followers is particularly scary because I believe Shen is running the Swordcraft deck that, unlike the other competitors in this tournament, are running one Gilman-Lees.
Yes.
So leaving anything up on Shen's board always leaves you open to a potential Bamboozle from that card coming
He's like,
out.
whoop. Fail Spellbomb does take out that Lyria because as it does skip through that shield effect immediately. Uses the Cahulan here to trade to the Andreophis to remove Dreamlife's board and says, you don't get any tempo, no tempo allowed.
Shen's also respecting Dreamlife's ability to generate boards as well.
Choosing the Gilded Blade instead, actually my mistake. He just Gilded Blades and leaves the Cahulan there as a target.
I mean, you might as well, right?
Yeah.
Having a body is better than not having a body.
That is very true. It means you've got to deal with it.
There's the Hellhound.
So not a bad draw at all. Going from not many cards to play to quite a few.
Could just be a
But
Singer.
Singer and a Happy Pig maybe?
Yeah, Singer's Spirit maybe to trade to this.
Yeah, Spirit makes sense. I respect the Spirit. Summons the Ghost with the Necromancy. Ghost trades through. Nice and easy.
The next turn he has the Skull Ring plus Happy Pig, and then that sets up a pretty wide board for Gilman-Lees, and if it gets cleared, it sets up for him to just play Arcus anyway. So
not
Dreamlife's
too-
in a pretty good position.
I'm inclined to agree here. Shen's hand, on the other hand, this turn, not so great.
Not so great, but he does have 3 Arthurs in hand.
That is true. He could just start just like turn 7 is turn 7, and that's just you
right.
throw it either down, throw it down again, throw it down another time. Just like, you know, how many 2 costs are in your deck?
You got to respect the
After
king.
turn 10, none.
Yeah, none.
It's all gone.
So this is a Celia turn, I believe. Celia, Hope's Messenger.
Hope's Messenger, I think, is the right play here. I mean, play that down, get a little bit of a wide board.
Hope's Strategist,
Hope's
rather.
Strategist, one, yes, sorry.
And it's going to evolve over
Special respect.
the 1-2.
Shield Guardian comes out as well as the Heavy Knight, the 1-2. Shield Guardian won't give an inch. Never does.
Oh, evolving the
You know, he
ward.
uses metric, right? Kappa. Shield Guardian coming out. Evolving the ward. I'm not sure how I feel about evolving the ward.
Yeah.
Like, why not evolve the Heavy Knight and just protect it under the ward?
It's interesting. I think it's because the Mischievous can trade into the ward regardless. if that
That's
was the
true.
case.
Just like for free, right? This way he has to trade something extra into it.
Yeah, he could play the Orthrus on the 2-4 now, and then or play the Orthrus on the 3-2 actually is better, and then play the Happy Pig and evolve it into the Celia. Then
it.
he's not dealing with the 1-2 here, so.
Yeah. We're definitely going to see Arthur's next turn. I mean, it's just a play. Turn 7, Arthur comes out.
Yep. Just slam it down. If the king's in your hand, you play the king. You got to respect royalty.
A lot of kings in Shen's deck. He's got Arthur, he's got King Elephant, a Forest Craft deck, just kings.
It's indicative of his own mental state, you know?
Loves to assign himself to royalty. You're not going to respect that. Dreamer thinking this turn through, though, as he has been doing every turn so far. No harm in that.
Ah, interesting. Now I can play the Spirit here to run the other...
Yep, gets another Ghost, trades into the 3-1.
Now, sadly, he doesn't have enough shadows for this Orthrus to proc off, but it looks like he's just going to do it this way and play the Happy Pig, I imagine.
Yep. The happiest pig, the wide board. Full board, locked board. Contemplating evolving the Happy Pig makes sense. Does give it an extra amount of healing on takeout 1 to 3.
Why is he so happy? Look at this board. It's a bunch of Skelemen, it's a ghost, and then it's a freaking flying pig.
He smiles in the face of danger.
Come be miserable like the rest of us. What are you doing?
Making us all feel bad. Pig, how could you? How could you? People in the crowd agree. They're all just like, Happy Pig could do this. Why? It's turn 7 on it. Razor Shen's side.
It's a bit awkward though. You have this 1-2 on board that you don't want it to be there, right? You want to clear this.
It's in the way, and like the only way to get rid of it cleanly is to trade into the Happy Pig, which really doesn't do anything for you.
It's not that great.
It's not a great trade. And keep in mind, he's already drawn multiple Kahulans. How many was he running? 2 or 3? I'll find out with my handy dandy notebook. My handy notebook will tell me he was running 3.
Yep.
So he has got 1 more in there. So he can trade through it and then get the Cahulan with the Arthur, most likely. And then do something with that. So he can pull Celia's, Servant's Patience, Holy Bear Knights, Kahulans.
Yeah, so I think
would likely pull one of all of them.
Oh, actually not
just
trading.
play it?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. He has 3. Maybe he doesn't want to
That's it.
pull them all out.
He did not get the Cahulan in an instance. He got the Servant, the Holy Bear Knight, and the Celia. I feel it was unfortunate that the Cahulan would have been what he was looking for there.
Yeah. Not great, but he
Not
can still evolve the Arthur here.
Still a full board. You've still got, and he's going to deal with it again next turn, and again the turn after, most likely.
And Shen has to deal with as much as possible because this is going into a Gildan Lease. So.
And it's a 4-8 now. That is a spicy Arthur. Getting rid of that happiest pig.
The lore behind Happy Pig bothers me because when it gets destroyed, it heals you, so I assume you eat it.
Hey, man. It's delicious.
Listen.
You know, listen.
I don't know if I'm okay with that.
It's just resourceful.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll go to waste.
Yeah, I guess so.
How come the Arcus Ghostly Manager makes sense, play it on curve,
Yeah, so trade
does
the
now get that
two-
effect?
Trade the 2 skeletons into the Bear Knight probably, then evolve the Arcus over the 4-4. But you got to be sweating because again, Shen runs a Gildan Lease in his sword, unlike a lot of the other players here. So leaving up anything is like.
It's just like, what if the Gilmore comes? Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean it is only a 1-of, so it's not likely that he has it, and we know that he doesn't.
But it is in there.
You could draw it.
You could draw it, and you got to think about it.
We've seen crazy
Or
things happen today.
you may forget. It's easy to forget that it's in there.
I think they have the deck list.
Yeah, they do, but it's easy to just.
Oh, that's right. You're absorbed into the game, right? Exactly.
That's it. Trade that one out. The 8-8 there is going to smash that up and King. Just take him to
That's
town.
right. The manager defeating the king. Isn't that
Shen
an allegory for
draws
modern life?
For the turn. Draws our boy.
That's Octress. Now he can steal the last words effects of the Arcus, giving him a draw, and also gets a free evolve because he's playing it on 8.
That is true. That's not a bad play at all. And then there was quite a bit of board left up on Shen's side. So an Arthur here is hard. He'd have to trade everything in to get the Arthur.
Yep.
And I like this play instead. He just uses the Octress, you know, takes that last word ability, makes it his own.
And can even evolve over it for free.
Yep. No harm in that. And then just, you know, start getting some damage on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Shen be like, I want my game 2 done.
And this free evolve also gives you 2 loot cards. See what he gets. He got a necklace and a boots. Oh, the boots is really helpful now.
Boots is really helpful.
He doesn't have any evolve points left, so
Yeah.
getting rush is good.
Boots is very well timed.
Of course, he loses the Octress here, unfortunately, but still.
But that's okay, and he gets a card, or he chooses not to.
Oh, and he actually
He wants to keep the Octress alive.
He has the blade here, so he can even just blade it and then run the 1-1 in, and then
1-1
just
in,
run the 2-2, and he has a 6-7 on board.
On board. Just this is like, what you do, what you got.
Nice.
What you got.
Or you can just
Or you
rat.
play the Cullen, also works. I actually respect the Cahulan play here because it's just a simple one.
I was just thinking that he might want to save the Cahulan for a lot of other big threats. Like we see in Dreamlife's hand, he has the other Arcus, he has the other,
Yeah,
he has
like-
Gilneases. But again, like when are you going to find the time to play those, right?
Yeah,
So-
right. You know, I reckon play the Cahulan now while T's got time to do so. Oh, Happy Pig is back.
Oh, and drawing the big Soul Hunter, but not having enough shadows to make it work.
So if you eat the Happy Pig,
but
then it gets reanimated, how's that work?
I don't want to answer that question.
Good answer.
But because Arcus is activated, he can actually proc these pretty easily. Now he has enough shadows, and we can even play the big Soul Hunter to deal with this Octress here. This goes face.
Comes out, just see you later. Womp. It's a free card draw though.
And all upstairs.
Oh, goes for days. This is where Arcus gets scary. He's going to play cards and you're going to take damage as well. What are you going to do about it? Not a lot. But this does leave Shen just to play Arthur again next turn.
That's right.
But like round 2. Arthur Boogaloo.
So what's DreamLife going to do against that? He still has the Orthruses in hand.
Ooh, and there it is.
A bit late, though.
It is late.
If he had that like a turn before, this game would be over.
That said, though, if he plays another Arthur and can survive it, it's there.
Is he even pulling out coolants anymore, or did he use all of them, though? Now, how are you going to answer this happy pick? Maybe he has one left?
I think he has one left.
All right, well, let's see what happens. I still think you do play the Arthur. There's not much else to do.
I think the Arthur, I agree. I think the Arthur is a white play here. You just make that wide board, get those 2 costs out of your deck, so you are less likely to draw them, likely to draw more of your big hitter cards.
So what's the alternative? You play the Frontline Cavalier and then you play the Valse for Fatal Spellbomb?
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, not as good, right?
I feel like, what's that leave? Yeah, that's not great. Just to get rid of a 2-2?
Let's go.
I prefer the Arthur play. Out comes
he still has one left.
Because we said before you have one left. That's all 3 Cahullans done and dusted now, though. And I think all 3 Servants as well.
Yes, I believe so.
So yeah, his Arthur's now going to... Actually, I think it's most of his 2 costs done. So his third Arthur is going to lose a lot of use.
That's right. You run 3 Arthurs just to have 3 Arthurs, but you only really want to use 2 Arthurs most of the time. Yeah.
Third's like... Ooh, he does play the necklace and the boots on the servant. He wants more loot cards.
That's heads up. You get
go
the
to
loot.
3-3 because of the clash effect. Gets it for free. I like that trade.
That's really heads up. You get the loot and you get the widest board possible. Now DreamLife has to answer this.
If he doesn't answer that with a board with a wipe, like a destroy effect, Shen more cards.
Yep.
Shen's greedy.
Out comes the Danua, being just a ghost generator here.
That's fair.
Yep, but at least DreamLife played her.
Yep. And out comes the Gilnelise, Omen of Craving, making them 3-1s now.
Now this can clear the 2-2 and the Servant of Usurpation here.
Yep. Clear the Servant.
But
we'll give another loot card to Shen though, so he's thinking it through. He's like, do I want to give Shen another loot card?
That's right. But he
kind of has to. He's out of play points. He's like, what's he gonna do?
Doing this whole thing, not clearing Shen's board, just opens him up for a Gilnelise of his own.
Oh, is that Boots again? Oh, it is.
Oh, this is gonna be painful. Now he can play Valse Gilnelise.
He can play his Gilnelise, and then it's just like, ooh.
Yeah, this is almost definitely gonna be a Valse Gilnelise and then all upstairs.
Yeah.
Because the Gilnelise buff is permanent. It's +2 attack.
That's it. You just get it. It's like, that's 6 free damage.
Yep.
Just all upstairs.
Oh, yeah, I like playing a 3-play point 4-2 that gives me a removal option and a 7-play point 3-5 that buffs my other followers.
Yeah.
That seems pretty good.
This is right. Utility is definitely there. But does Shen see this play? Does he choose to make this play?
It's pretty funny too, because if he plays Gilnelise now, it's already the 10th turn or later, so it's going to cause both players to draw a lot of cards.
It's going to get spicy.
It's going to get pretty spicy, but I still think you play it. I still think it's by far the best play.
Best play, you know. DreamLife's running out of cards too. He only gets to draw 3 of them. He's got a full hand.
Let's see what the players throw away here.
What's the throw going to be? Oh, here comes the damage. Big hits.
Big damage.
Big hits. Just so much damage tearing him down. What do you do? End turn. Give him some cards.
Here we go.
See you later.
Oh, we did it twice because there's 2 Gilnelises. Oh,
Is there going to be a deck out here?
Oh, yeah. There's only 13 cards left in
Deus
DreamLife's
Ex Machina
deck.
eat your heart out.
Yeah, no kidding.
No resonance needed here, buddy.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I saw that effect go off on turn. Usually it goes like the Gilnelise is played a lot earlier.
Yeah, but like everybody's like, no, it's gonna happen now.
But this time,
with both of them as well.
Oh, and he's got another one. He's gonna pull out his. Oh no, that's all the Gilnelises he has. It's in his hand already. I was gonna say this is gonna get real Clown Fiesta.
First man on the field. But here's where he can get really interesting. He has to deal with this board or he loses.
Oh, this is a lot of damage though. This DreamLife just have it. I wasn't even thinking about the. Oh yeah, this is it. DreamLife just won.
Alright, talk us through it. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Because Fairy Spirit Maiden lets him attack 3 times.
3 times. That is that. Just boom. Just took it over.
That's the most Gilnelises I've seen played in a game. By far.
DreamLife just like, nah, I got this. Don't worry about it.
Yo, Shen put up, that was close though.
That was close.
If DreamLife didn't have that one turn, I think Shen would have taken that. But
that
was
a little, yeah, that's it, definitely. I reckon, yeah, very much. If that all happened 1 turn early, you got that Gilnelise 1 turn earlier.
Yeah.
That would have been done and dusted. But not today. We get a 1-1.
What a
First
combo.
to 3. What a well played there.
Gilnelis
the 500
and
IQ.
Yeah.
Unlimited IQ works from that boy from Malaysia.
I think we're really seeing the power of Shadowcraft here that we didn't really see too much last series. This time around, we're really seeing how this deck plays out.
That's it. So now that Shadowcraft is through. No longer need to be played by Dreamlife. He has done and dusted with that. 2 more decks remaining from his side.
That's
We
right.
have the Rune and Blood.
Yeah. And it's going to be close. It's going to be real close. Like, this is a closer series already.
What do you think they're both going to play now? So Shen remain. Oh, we'll find out in a moment. What do you think they'll play?
I mean, I hope that Shen plays his Forestcraft deck here because I think it's surprisingly good against Rune and Blood because you can go a lot faster than they can a lot of the time. Against Rune, maybe less so because I know for a fact that Dreamlife is playing, I believe, Nova Flare in his deck, which can deal with Force Boards a lot. But again,
That's right. We did mention we did see that board clear there with the Nova Flare, so it is in there.
But if you can get the Lux Glaive Bale out on the back of that, maybe that's enough.
Very, very true.
That's like oh, here it is! Forestcraft versus Bloodcraft.
It is 2 Nova Flares in
I think this is a favorable matchup for Shen here because you just go faster than they can.
That's it.
Oh, but
That's
this is
look at that initial hand.
This is a hand from Dreamlife, though.
You see the guys in the crowd were just like, what?
Yeah, I spoke a bit too soon there, maybe. Caster's
Curse,
Curse, a little bit.
right? Good
I was all
lord.
like, oh yeah, Forestcraft is a bit favored against Bloodcraft. Oh, let's just
I'll
draw.
just get a magic hand.
Let's just draw this hand.
Great,
yeah.
fantastic.
Is he going first? That would be...
I did not see if he's going first. He is not.
Okay, all right. Shen.
It's all right.
Let's see. Ooh, okay. Shen's got a pretty good hand himself, though. He's got the Elf Song in hand. Just needs a bit more generator. Maybe if he draws a Fairy Whisperer off the top, something like that.
Right, here we go.
Out comes the Disciple.
No turn 2 Flourish there, but not too far from
Not quite. Well, don't speak so soon.
That's it. Caster's gonna...
He's gonna play the Insect Lord just to prevent this.
No.
No.
None of that.
Not today.
You
not
play by
today.
my speed. Smart.
And you know,
That
Shen
foresight.
does have a really good hand. He can play the Singer here.
Ooh, there's the bat already, so he knows he's got it. Now it's just the fight to turn 7 for Dreamlife.
Yep. It's kind of awkward, Jack. You don't want to be trading against this, but you don't really have a choice, right? That's the problem with Servant of Lust. You just play the Singer and double trade. Feels pretty bad, but what else can you do?
A little bit bad, but sometimes it is what it is, right? So, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta take the good with the
I
bad.
think he was very much hoping for an Airbound Barrage, but what can you do?
No dice. No barrage today.
Yep, Singer comes out. Let's see what he gets.
Give himself
Hey,
an airbound barrage. There we go.
One too late.
But at least he's got it now. Better than nothing.
Yep. He's gonna double trade here. You can't let this live.
It is what it is. It's gone. See you later. Unfortunately, the value is not there, but at least it's gone now. Dreamlife drawing. Ooh, that is not. Flores is not what we want to see drawing.
Wow, just playing the Valorant.
Playing the Valorant flat out.
It's a really solid follower.
That's it. Parish on the board as well. Starting to get those dark. Well, he's got the Dark Beast in hand. Get those ticks, but look at his hand size. Only 3 cards.
And the thing is,
Not
he's getting
one
his Valorant out now before the evolution point is available to Shen. So this can build up to be a pretty beefy threat before Shen can do anything about it.
Kind of has to be, because Dreamlife's really got not much else to work with here.
The only thing Shen can do now is run the 1-2 in, and play a follower, and then Airbound Barrage it. But that's a pretty weak turn.
At this point, maybe the Florist Drew is not that bad, because he might have to play that next turn as his card. So, you know, it's not necessarily terrible after all.
Oh. Wow, Shen's going aggressive.
He's like, nah, it's aggro deck, don't worry about it.
Yeah. He's going to be pretty sad about this Floros draw, though, from Dreamlife.
Ooh, a second Snarling Chains and a Razory.
Because now Dreamlife can just play the Floros, evolve it over the 2-3, run the 2-4 into the Crystallia Tia.
Done and done, and then, you know, he's still got both those guys good to go.
Yeah,
and Flores
wow.
will evolve with a heal effect of 5. All that work he just done for nothing.
Pretty rough for Shen. I think Dreamlife got a pretty great hand in this matchup. Drawing the floor is actually not bad here.
Yeah, turned it actually working out, you know. Sometimes drawing floors, it's okay.
I mean, it's still 5-3.
You're always like, feels bad, man, but at the same time, you're like, wait a second, yeah, 5-3 with a heal effect.
Yep.
You just didn't get it through, like, you didn't get it for free.
A really beefy heal effect to
Yeah.
restore 5 defense. In
On Evolve,
Havencraft, you pay 7 play points for that.
Oh, shout outs to Curate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, right? I miss Curate, okay? I want to play Curate some more, but I
Then
can't.
play it.
I can't play it anymore.
Not that attitude.
I'm a Floros boy now.
That's it. You converted. You've seen the anti-light Flores coming out, evolving it as Ignatius successfully has predicted here.
Into the... Do you even trade into the 2-3? No, you just prevent the draw. Do it this way.
Yeah. I respect this. Like, you know, what's the point? Prevent the option.
Yeah, but now the 2-3 can trade into the Valneric, right? Because the Valneric's not buffing this turn.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah, it's
a risky one, because, you know, it's like, what do you do, right?
I think maybe evolving over the Singer is better there, because now this Singer can now trade into the Valneric, and then you just need to evolve anything into the Floros.
It's unfortunately, it loses the board for nothing. So it works out favorably for Shen when you put it that way. So
What can
he
Shen
does
do,
though.
though?
What can he
Oh,
do?
Shen has a Lyriel. He can evolve the Lyriel into the Floros and still have a 3/3 on board.
That's true. That's true.
It's pretty good.
Get it for nothing. I can respect that as not a bad play at all. You know, it's a free clear. He's a 3/3 body on board, and as we know, Dreamlife's not got a whole lot. He's going to have to use options, use things like chains or Razory
Yeah.
to clear it out. Which does, you know, of course, proc that Dark Beast back a little bit more. Return 4 now, but there's so few other options currently in Dreamlife's hand.
The good thing about Shen's hand as well now is that he also has the Luxglaive Bale in hand pretty early, so that's going to come out to be a pretty big tempo swing later on in the game.
Does use the
maybe
Airbound
next turn, the
Barrage
turn
there,
after.
put the Fairy back in the hand and remove the floors that way. Now 4 Fairies in hand.
Is he just going to evolve over this Valneric and then send the 2 damage to face? I respect this. As much face damage as possible, because that's how you win. The Floros did set Shen back a lot, like extremely far back, but he's still in this if he can just keep up the aggression and he doesn't
Keep
have
the
any more
aggression
heals.
up, and there's just not many other tools left in Dreamlife's hand at the moment.
Even investing the Fairy here, thinking that if all these 3 followers are destroyed by potentially an Evil Eye Demon, at least I have the Luxglaive Bale down for free next turn.
Okay, so we've got a gift for Bloodkin here, so we do have a lot of self-damage. We can't play it all. 1 play
Yep.
point short.
Can't.
Floros Boy not coming out from the deck this turn. He's going to have to wait.
Not this time. Not this
Not
time.
this time. Not today, buddy.
So what he can do is Snarling Chains the 3/1.
Yeah.
Gift for Bloodkin, evolve it into the 2/3. Oof.
Oof, it's a lot. Again, a lot of resources being used here, but what else does Dreamlife got?
Yeah, Dreamlife's really running
Just
out of
has-
steam quite quickly here.
But he's basically out of it. He's only got spells here. He can't play anything on the board this turn, and potentially can't play anything next turn.
Yeah, and
Like,
Shen
no
is
followers
healthy
is
enough.
Scary.
Shen is healthy enough that this Dark Freeze bet isn't probably going to be an issue on turn 7.
It's
Probably
not gonna
much
be at this
later.
point. Yeah, it'll be much later. Or we'll have to draw a second one and play multiple like we saw in the previous set.
That's right. So what's the play?
You just look at that cold steel from that man.
Yeah.
Just staring. Like, don't worry about it. I'll think it's through.
He's esports posing.
He knows. Oh, he was. He had the crossed hands. I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
As we know,
Soft shot.
it increases your mental acuity
it.
tenfold.
Per second. of
Per
holding that
second.
pose. But it's very taxing on the brain, right?
That's right.
That's
That's
why
right.
they only get him to do it for a couple seconds in photo poses, because
Yep.
you know, otherwise they overload.
Yeah, you can't
That's
overdo
how
your
you
KO
lose
can, you know?
athletes.
So you gotta start. I mean, there's no evolve target here either. Like if we had a Vera, this would be a great turn.
Yeah, but he's just got nothing. He just plays the Snarling Chains, takes out the 3/1, plays a secondary Snarling Chains, probably to take out the
Yeah,
2/3,
this is
which
just gonna
does
have to be
give Shen a
fine. I
card
think you
draw.
just save the gift for Bloodkin and then
Yeah.
move on.
Hope you get some more self-damage so you can get a Floros out for free for turn 6.
What Dreamlife needs right now is draw, I think.
Oh, there's a Ginelli. Okay, that's not a bad draw from Shen at all.
Oh yeah.
That is, if he can get a wide, and currently he can get a pretty wide board for nothing.
Yeah, I mean that Luxglaive Bale as well. 1 play point, 4/4 with Ward. Seems pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Spicy. What is the play here? What does he do? Think it through. What are we going to see? Rage of Shen throw down.
Yeah, we didn't see a Evil Eye Demon from Dreamlife that last turn, so maybe Shen's like, okay, maybe I can invest in this board now.
He went pretty wide last turn as well, and you know nothing came out of it as a result. You
Right.
got to keep in mind, Dreamlife does have 2 evolution points on board, which is a scary place to be. It's a lot. But you look at that and go, clearly he's just got nothing. Like,
Yeah.
why would you bluff that turn?
Like-
Why would you do that? I don't see a point unless you're going for like next level IQ players.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think Shen thinks that Dreamlife doesn't have Evil Eye Demon in his hand. Either that or Dreamlife is really saving it for a board that he really needs to use it on. But
Yeah, which could be if he goes just wide with fairies this turn, just here's 5 fairies.
I think he should. I think he should just go wide with fairies. Maybe
4.
Yeah, maybe
Just
even
leave
invest
one slot open.
The Bale. Ooh,
There he
playing
comes out.
Delirious is
There we
interesting.
go. And the Luxglaive Bale, of course, that makes sense.
This is the most followers.
Yeah, most followers, pretty wide board, and you got the 4/4 staring you down with Ward as well. 3 into the face, oof, down to 13.
I was gonna say maybe he wanted to save the Lyra
we
to pull his
got?
second Gilnelise, but he already has Gilnelise in hand, so it should be fine.
Vera Knight Fanatic.
It's like a turn
It is
too late.
The
I think.
turn too late. This is not what you wanted now. Like, it's all well and good, but not enough.
Like the only thing you can do here is evolve the Vera, run into the Luxglaive Bale, and do the Razor Claw on the 3/3, but
That leaves 3 up, which is exactly what Shen wants to be.
and Gilnelise is a thing.
Yup.
Turn after.
Yup. And then it's like, Enjoy your free damage down there.
This is it. This is what happens when Dark Feast Bat can't get their draw engine going. It's just they fizzle out. They don't have enough resources to proc the Dark Feast Bat. They don't have enough resources to do damage to the enemy leader. They don't have enough resources to clear the enemy board, and then they lose.
And that's it. Shen's kept really consistent. There's a lot of tempo. Fairies constantly coming out, constantly generating them. Been playing that Forest Craft right. Makes sense. It's his home turf. Vera Knight Fanatic does come out, likely going to evolve this because it would make no sense if he did not. Does choose to, which does give that protection to Vera and the leader as long as Vera is on the board, but Vera will not be on the board for long. Keep the Flood King coming out, bringing the second Forest Bat out, not getting it for Razor Shen. Smart call playing it early before the board gets in, so he loses that Forest Bat. Does choose to Razor Claw as well after that floor force gone.
Face!
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 Beefy, that is a gutsy play.
Oh, but this is a Gilmalese, right?
It's a Gil, has to be. Has to be a Gilmalese.
Because if
that's 12 damage right there, 12. Just take 12. Enjoy your 12.
Well, he has to run the 5-3 into the
oh, yes, yeah, if the Vera wasn't there, that's lethal,
but if he dealt with that 5-3 with the Razor Claw instead of going face, and the Dark Feast Bat's only at 6, it's not even
half.
Yeah, not even halfway there. I think he would have been better served dealing with that 3-3. Then it would have made his board a lot less impactful to deal with this Vera if the Gilmalese came out.
5-3 takes out the 4-2 and the rest goes downstairs.
Wow.
Or even like a 3-1 takes out the 4-2 and the rest goes downstairs.
That was a really gutsy play. Now this all goes face, right? Oh, wow, trading. Nope.
No, I was going to say, no way. That's such a weird play. But it's okay. Goes face. It's going to bring him down to a very low life total.
Yep. 4 defense.
And the downside is here, you know, Dream Life, if he draws is another one of his self-hurt tools, he's got nothing. Got nothing.
Oh.
Down to 4. All comes down to what he draws here. What's that top deck going to be? It is going to be a Evil Idea. That is exactly what he needed.
Whoa.
That changes everything.
Okay.
But it is going to buy. It will buy him another turn. Oh no, where will it?
Yeah, because it's at 6.
It's
so
damage or destroy.
Because he can just run the bat in.
The Forest Bat, yeah.
Even if he didn't do that, he could just run the Evil ID.
Evolve it, so they all take damage. The 3-5 will take damage. They're all gone. Board wiped.
That's exactly what he needed.
Seeing some claps in the crowd there. That is the card. Couldn't have asked for a better card there.
You see Shen doing a little bit of a
not like this. But it goes back to he's just like, I'll just make the board wide again. Yep. Just got to keep enough of them alive to get through. Goes ultra wide with this board.
Just needs to push.
If he can keep enough of it alive, it's game. Like it forces Dream Life to have to take out the fairies.
Oh! Okay, no, but there's no way he can get them both out on time. I mean, he has to play defensively.
He has to play defensively. He has to play the Dark Beast Bat and then trade out. He can't do anything else. He plays the Dark Beast Bat and trades out a fairy.
If that was like a 0 play point ping card, maybe,
that's unfortunately late. Like there's nothing he can do here.
He has to run the 5-4 into a fairy and then the Dark Beast Bat into the Fairy Whisperer and then.
Yeah. Which is a waste, but it's the only way he doesn't die.
Yep.
He has to do
He might win off that because if Shen doesn't have any high impact draws, if he's just going to draw like another fairy or something, it's not going to
Then that's it, yeah. Like it's the only play you can make. So it comes down to what Shen is going to draw here.
Yep. Which is why I was a little weirded out by the fact that he spent his Lyrial so willingly. Because I think that when you're getting into this stage of the game, if you're saving your second Lyrial to draw your second Gilmalese, it's situations like this that you can come out from. But using the Lyrial just as a follower on board, maybe it was the better tempo move at the time. But when you run out of fuel and they draw their Evil Eye Demon, then you're left stranded.
Not great at all.
It's really interesting decision
thinking this through, well, he knows what he has to do. He has to do it that way. But he's just taking the time this turn, no harm. Sends Evil Eye Demon into Water Fairy there, gets rid of that. Plays the Dark Beast Bat.
Yeah, there's no choice.
Targets just one of the fairies with it, no which one.
You don't often see a bat destroy a fairy.
See you later, yeah. Now what does Shen draw? He draws a...
Whoa! Oh!
The lyric!
Oh my lord!
Out comes a free Gilmalese. He's gonna drop that for nothing, and that's gonna be that.
Ignore what I said. I was like, oh, Shen,
look at Dreamline's face. He's just like, oh.
Yeah, right? I was like, Shen, why are you playing that Lyria so early? No, he just knew he was gonna get it. He just knew.
He just knew.
He felt it. The heart of the cards was with him.
2-1 to Razor Shen.
Holy smokes!
One win closer to $1 million.
That was so close. That was like this close between the two players.
Both of them just drawing the card they need and the card they need. And we're like, it's over now. Oh, it's over now. Ooh. So close.
That was like edge of. If we had seats, that would be edge of.
But we do. We're just not using them.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's fine.
Listen, let my analogy stick.
Well, you're kind of on the edge of your seat because you're like standing in the seats, like touching your legs, right?
But there you go, Razor Shen taking another game.
That is
with
it.
That Forest Craft
with his Forest Craft, with the home turf, just leaves his sword remaining.
Yep, Sword versus Dreamlife. Dreamlife still has 2 decks to go. He's still got Shadow and
Are we going to see that
Runecraft.
Runecraft deck?
Ooh, yeah.
He has to win. It doesn't really matter which order he plays, but he has to win with both.
That's true. He has to win with both.
I
but
say play with Rune here. Play with what you like.
the thing is, though, like, it's momentum, right? Like, if you win with one, maybe you're in a better mind space as well.
That's
Remember,
what
these players are human,
yeah.
right? So they gotta have that attitude going
I
into
think
this.
playing with Rune would be the right call, as it is Dreamlife's home turf. If he can get a win with that, it might give him that momentum back. Well, because it brings things down to a game 5, right?
Yep.
So I think Rune here would be the right play. But that was just a good game, just back and forth.
Yeah,
so many
that was awesome.
Good draws, like lucky draws.
Yeah.
That's it.
He is going up against Razor Shen's Swordcraft deck.